When Canadians find a dead alien. I mean, is this going to be like a fucking... There's no... Okay, they're not... You're not going to actually be able to convince me that that is a real alien. Dead or alive, that just looks like a bulbous figurine. A bad prop. That one looked more real. I just fully... I fully think that anybody that claims to have found an alien and that alien is a bipedal creature with a bulbous head that looks like E.T. and they drive a saucer UFO is a fucking scam. I mean, yo, great way to, you know, actually disguise yourself as an alien is to just, like, pan into the stereotypes, but, like, I'm not gonna believe that. 1992.
Over a decade ago, a very strange video emerged on the internet. It shows a recording of photographs taken in 1992 in Quebec, Canada. Those photographs depict what appear to be a short, naked corpse of a gray alien. What is also mysterious is how little...
If it has a dick, I'm not believing it. I'm putting that right now. If it has the same reproductive organs we do, nope. Nope. Or if it's smooth, that's also another thing. I need to see some weird, like, bulbous thing popping out of its, like, right shoulder that it uses to, like, reproduce.
Information exists on this case. And so,
Because ain't no way an alien penis is a thing.
Did a deep dive. The footage itself is one...
Almost every animal has genitalia on Earth. Almost every animal on Earth, right? And to say that I've said this a million times. So, you know, if you watch a lot of my content, it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse here. If you are an alien from another planet, light years away, tens, hundreds, thousands of light years away, and you make your way to Earth and die, I'm already questioning your intelligence. Like, how the fuck did you even get... You died? You died. You were capable of getting from thousands of light years away, right? Something that would take us, you know, millions of years to fucking get to. Like, with the current technology we have. They're able to get here in an instant, in one life. And then they die in the snow in Canada? That's already sketchy. And then on top of that, you evolved and developed, you know, maybe some level of consciousness perception on another planet. Say it's in the Goldilocks zone. You're not going to be bipedal. Why would you look like us and have 5 fingers and fucking all this other shit?
1 minute and 21 seconds long. It was uploaded by the YouTube channel called Étrange Videos in 2008.
That is a wooden doll. That is a wooden doll.
And again in 2013. And also included detailed comments from the uploader, giving context on its origin and claiming to be the one who did the recording. In total, there are 10 photographs of the corpse, and 3 other pictures to provide context. The first one is a depiction of grays from an abduction account in a book, including the Charles Moody case from 1975. The second is a title screen saying, Hiver 92, l'Annonciation, which translates to Winter 92, and l'Annonciation being a municipality in Quebec, Canada. The third picture is a map, with the location of the finding, Riviera Rouge. The last picture...
Where's the body? The government might have taken it.
Curiously, is a drawing.
What are the Canadians gonna do with an alien?
Or rather, a petroglyph from Uzbekistan, showcasing what appears to be a luminous man. It was used by Eric von Daniken, specifically in his book Chariots of the Gods. Von Daniken is best known for his books on alien influence on early human...
Was God an astronaut? Bro.
Civilization, more commonly known as the ancient alien hypothesis, which is likely why it was included in the footage. The uploader, claiming to be the person who recorded this and uploaded it to YouTube, provided detailed context for where he or she got these photos from and their attempts at making them public. The uploader writes, "In the winter of 1992, while I was living in Montreal, A friend of my former roommate came to our apartment to show us some strange photos. These showed what appeared to be a creature of unknown origin, an extraterrestrial biological entity, or EBE, apparently lifeless, discovered by a snowmobiler or perhaps...
I'm cutting off its hand and keeping it. What? If I find a dead alien, I will... bro, if I find a dead alien, yeah, sure, I'll let the government know. I'm hacking off its arm and putting it in a box to be like, this is an alien's hand. Well, I'm going to show you a fucking 240p image and be like, yeah, this is a dead alien we found in the woods.
Too, in a field or wooded area not far from the road.
They'll mind wipe you? You think they have that? Dude, I mean, that's a hypothetical I've ran through multiple times, chat. Alien UFO crashes in your backyard. You know? What are you doing? Right? I'm going out with a weapon, but I'm gonna be kind of like half on the offense, half on defense. I'm gonna be like kind of peaceful, like, you know, just no, I'm not aggressive, but I'm ready, you know, in case they try to lunge at me or something. I don't know what disease it has, so I might, like, wear a hoodie and go like this. Like, poke it if it's dead. Like, like roadkill. I'd call my friend first, actually. I'd get Chris to pull up. I'd get Chris to pull up. Then we would both go outside with hoodies on and poke it. See what it is. Take a few pictures of it. Probably take part of its body. Write a note to myself in case they Men in Black mind wipe me. Put that away. Then call. Who do you call? Who do you call? You'd probably call, like, the police and say that you found it. They wouldn't believe you. Saul, the Ghostbusters. Yeah, I call the Ghostbusters. Hey, I know this isn't really ghost related, but this is something that you guys are going to want to see. I call one of the original actors in the Ghostbusters movie.
This friend stated the photos were from his cousin and were taken in Riviera Rouge in La Annonciation.
Bro, but I just feel like the reason I wouldn't want to call the police is because if you found an alien and you call the cops, they're not roping you in on that shit. You know they're not. They're gonna barricade you in your house. They're gonna fucking rope that shit off and they're gonna say, fuck off. And they're gonna go deal with it themselves. They're not gonna help you, you know, or they're not gonna let you in on what they find. So I gotta be investigating some of that shit myself. I might put on gloves, you know, you don't know what fucking bacteria they got, like some brain-eating amoeba just living on their skin.
On Quebec, which is the circled place on the map. The snowmobiler, or one of them if there were more, retrieved a camera and began snapping photos. The other witnesses in the photographs arrived later by car. They then wrapped a cable or a rope under the arms of the corpse and used a branch to lift it up, hoping to avoid touching it.
That's smart. Oh my god, wait. No, this is making me believe it more. Because they don't want to touch it.
Strangely, they said they left the body out overnight, and when they returned the next day, it was gone, possibly taken by coyotes or other wild...
You're fucking kidding me. You're fucking kidding me. They leave the body? I would camp that shit out with my life. See, now you lost me again. You got me, and then you lost me.
This anonymous uploader then writes, "We then asked him what he planned to do with the photos. He told us..."
I'm not mad if I go out that way either, you know? Like, if I see an alien, know there's alien life, intelligent alien life, and it gives me some disease and I die from it, I mean, I'm not happy, but, like, you know, it's like at least you saw an alien.
He would try to contact someone in the field of ufology to try to solve the mystery. Before he left, I quickly grabbed my video camera and recorded the photos one by one. Later, this friend informed the uploader that he contacted Claude McDuff, an author in the field of ufology, and one who had written a book called...
I'd call Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'd email that motherfucker. I would just go live. I'd be streaming that shit on Twitch. Okay, I'm saying if I wasn't on, if I would, Oh, I'd stream that shit on Twitch. Are you kidding me? An alien, imagine the views. I don't give a fuck about the views. I'd be like, y'all better make sure they don't fucking Men in Black mind wipe me. You know? I'd be like, I'm not suicidal. I found this alien. You know?
The trial of the flying saucers, which was an investigative
And then I would also do some shit. Right, see, that's how I would prove that alien's real, so the government can't hide that shit. Because chat would be like, you're lying, that's not an alien. And I'd be like, what do you want me to do? And you'd go like, poke it with a stick. And then it jiggles. And I go, see? You go, cut it open. I go, okay. I go get a kitchen knife. Walk back out. Some like weird pus fucking spews out of it.
fiction approach to UFO sightings and encounters, focused primarily in Quebec, Canada, using
what? Okay, actually, chat. No. See, let me give you the hypothetical. I go live and I'm like in the wilderness. It's like 2 a.m. You're just like watching TV, you know, about to go to bed, and you just get a noti, and you're like, Joe Bartolozzi's live. That's weird. And you tap in, and I'm like, guys, you need to see this. And it's like really low quality. It's like cutting in. Hold to hell, anxiety warning.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
How do you hear about this? This is a caving video for the people that don't know, but it's like, do they go on forums where there's people raving about caves that they need to fucking explore? He's like, oh, here it is. Oh, this is the hole to hell. This is what everybody was talking about on Reddit.
This is creepy.
Whoa, that is way smaller than it was.
Bro, the entrance looks like a storm drain. You're gonna go in that?
There's freaking ropes going in.
I didn't know it was that small.
Yeah, and somebody fucking graffiti wrote hellhole on it.
Called the mailbox.
It's almost as narrow as my backpack. Oh no.
Bro, there's a rest in peace sign there. Did somebody die here? Yo, the second I peek my head in and this is what I'm fucking dealing with, I'm already turning around. Why would you do this willingly? I mean, he got almost 1 million views on YouTube for it, so money maybe, or the thrill.
Stop. Yeah, dude, don't go in head first.
Dude, don't go in head first. You're not going to be able to stand. This is like how are you going to go in fucking feet first in this? You're not going to be able to turn down.
Oh, dude, there's a huge freaking spider up there. Yeah. I can do anything but the spiders. Oh, no.
Anything but the spiders. You, for fun, your hobby, or job even, is going into enclosed spaces where you could possibly die, but what really gets you is the spider. Not the feeling that you're gonna be trapped underground and die. The daddy long leg, now that, on the other hand, that one's a jump scare.
Dude, they're everywhere, man.
The feeling of imminent doom in a cave, though? Nah, no problem.
Let's just follow the rope.
Dude, the floor looks like it's made of wood over here. I swear.
Where do they go? Is there a path? Dude, I'm just staring at fucking random holes. It looks like there's a million... No way he's squeezing through that.
Tree roots. Oh! Dude, that's slick. Who put this rope here? Well, there's a rope that goes up. We're supposed to climb that. Really? Yeah. That's a Walmart rope.
I'm not even sure what it's tied to.
Do they not have a map? They're not going in with a map. They're just like kind of freeballing it. They're not even marking where they're walking. They're just like, oh, why is this rope here? Oh, I think we're supposed to go up.
This is crazy. I know.
Do you think they're gonna get stuck at some point?
This one's really hard to climb.
This cave looks like the inside of my butthole. What do you know what your? Why do you know what the inside of your butthole looks like?
Whoa. There's a
Maybe a colonoscopy.
metal pipe in here. Whoa, there's a room up there. That's what the pipe's here for.
I don't think that's what the pipe's there for, so you could use it as a fucking leverage point. I feel like it's just there. Somebody put that pipe into this fucking wall.
Okay. I'm up. Okay. Whoa, it keeps going.
Oh, his body barely fits that he needs to drag the other guy. And they're going to have to go back down that way. Whoa, that's awesome. I can't wait for on the way down. He's like, dude, you got to kick my shoulders. I'm stuck. You got to fucking wedge me in here.
Yeah.
You got to push me into this like a trash can that's a little bit too full. You got to pack my body into the hole.
Oh, no. I don't know if we can make it. It's that tight. We're gonna have to take the helmets off for sure.
Oh, yeah, what could go wrong?
Okay. Helmets down. Oh no, I don't think we're gonna make it, dude.
Like, I love how they... Dude, I feel like if you're a caver... they have to have some sort of device to scientifically know whether or not they're making it through, you know? Like, his test on whether or not he's going to fit is to just try, and if he gets stuck, that means he can't fit. Like, that's the test.
What about getting this side first?
Oh, my God. Stop. Dude, and just dragging your fucking open skin across these sharp rocks.
Okay. Yeah.
I would never do this with this guy, but I would love to, like, just listen to him just tell me about, like, some story, you know? Around a campfire, he's like, there was this one time I was in the ass twister. And when I tell you, dude, I was fucking standing, I was in the cave like this. And I couldn't move. So every time I had to move, I would have to even turn my head. It was like, it felt like my neck was going to snap up. I would go, and then I would drag myself. And I would drag myself.
Dude, it goes up.
Like to watch him reenact it.
Keep going. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's going up good, actually.
Where's the end point? Bro, they're not marking where they're going either. They're just hitting multiple forks in this cave, and they're just like, all right, let's just keep going this way.
Got a rope down there.
Oh, my God. Stop. That's horrible. If there's a rope the whole way, that makes me feel happier about this.
Dude, it just keeps going. It was tied to a root. A root? Yeah. What? So all these things we saw are roots.
Yeah.
That's why they look like roots. Whoa.
Yeah, this guy's my guide. This guy's the dude that's taking me through the cave, and then he says some dumb shit like that.
Ooh, this is actually a fat rope.
Oh, everything looks like roots because they are roots. It's my first time going caving. This guy's my guide. It's fucked.
If it goes down.
Rope, huh?
Big old fat one. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't know how we got here.
Come figure it out.
I don't know where my backpack is. That's just off in the middle of the cave. Dude, that goes 60 foot.
Does that go straight down? Nah, he's about to fucking eat shit.
It's another set of ropes.
Oh, dude, it's like a straight It's like a straight decline, man. Let's go down. What did ancient humans do all day before jobs existed?
You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. You sit up, stretch, and ask yourself one question. What should I do today? For 99% of human history, this wasn't a hypothetical. This was every single morning for roughly 300,000 years. And the
Yeah, bro, but you're not waking up in a fucking bedroom going, oh, no alarm clock. What do I do today? You're waking up because you're sleeping in the outside. You're sleeping in nature. The sun rises. There's animals about. You're probably just going to wake up because it's time to wake up. Like, if you had to work on, like, circadian rhythm clock and you lived outside, you probably would wake up at, like, 7 a.m. every day because the sun's up. Like, maybe you sleep, like, an hour longer tops, but then you got shit to do, dude. You're going to die if you don't get fucking food. I know there was, even in medieval times, like once like alarm clocks didn't exist, but there were societies, there were people you could pay to like throw pebbles at your window to wake you up. Like they would be your alarm clock. There was like a person whose job was to stay up, and like when the sun rose, you would wake them up. They were called knocker-uppers. Is that actually what they were called? Yeah, it was a job. Knocker-uppers were human alarm clocks, and they worked in Britain and Ireland during the Industrial Revolution. They were paid a few pence a week per person to wake up factory and mill laborers. Alarm clocks were expensive and unreliable. These people had long poles and pea shooters to, like, bang on windows, and they would wake your ass up. I love learning about jobs like that, like, used to exist, but now they're just, like, you know, in the future, irrelevant. So why would you ever have somebody do that?
now, modern humans spend about 90,000 hours of their lives working. That's roughly 1/3 of your waking existence dedicated to a job. But for the overwhelming majority of human history, jobs didn't exist. There was no employment, no wages, no boss, no career ladder to climb. So what did people actually do all day? Let's start with what we know for certain.
Fucking hunt, walk around. If I was a kid, I feel like most of it was like cultivating food, right? Like even before like farming, it was just like foraging for shit, hunting animals, making a fire, cooking the food, maybe improving on your shelter in some way, and then just fucking, you know. Infant mortality was through the roof. They had to constantly be having kids.
1963, archaeologist Richard Lee conducted a study that would change how we understand prehistoric life. He tracked the daily activities of the Dobeju.
When does gooning come in? I don't think they were ever gooning. I think they were just constantly having sex. Because it was like, if you were alive in like caveman times, the odds that you would live past the age of 5 was very slim. Like, you're probably dying when you're born. You're dying in the first year that you were born, or you're getting eaten or fucking some sort of disease in the first 5 years of your life. Like, one of the biggest things of science in general is the fact that we have reduced infantile mortality drastically. That's why our lifespan's up, right? There were a lot of people, like, when they say the average person didn't live till 25 in, like, caveman times, that's true, but the number's highly skewed from like people that died in infancy through early childhood. Like if you were a caveman and you lived to like the age of 20, odds are you might live to fucking 45. Like you'll probably figure it out. You know, you're not going to live to like you're 80, but there were people that were living till their 40s in earlier caveman times.
Swansea people in Botswana, one of the few remaining groups still living in a way that resembles pre-agricultural human life. He found that adults spent about 2.5 days per
1 in every 2 newborns died at birth. That, and then even in newer societies like the Spartans, 1 in 2 newborns died at birth. Maybe it might have been a little bit lower in that earlier society, but Spartan society, if your kid had a defect, they'd fucking throw it off a cliff. So it's like you're getting a pull rate of like fucking 30%. Like 30% of kids are actually making it into the adult world. Not even the adult world. 30% are getting cared for because the other 70% died or they threw it off a cliff. And then of that 30%, only like what? 80% of them live to, you know, a certain age. And then now they die when they're 20 because they have to enroll in the military and all this stuff. It was like brutal, man. Like you always got to think, bro, Alexander the Great did all that shit before he was like 22. And then he died. Like, when you think of, like, people like that, like, Alexander the Great, he died when he was 32. Like, most of the shit he accomplished, he was like 20. We've all seen 300, mate, ... lol. Okay, Benny boy. We've all seen 300, the movie. They don't show them chucking babies off cliffs and the fact that to prove yourself in the Spartan army, you had to go kill slaves. They romanticize the Spartan army. The Spartans were brutal people. It wasn't allowed to kill, like, you weren't allowed to do it, but it was still an initiation ritual where you had to go fucking murder some guy. Like, there was crazy shit they did in Spartan societies that they didn't show in the fucking movies. It's just this war group of people where it's like, 300 men that are trained to go kill wolves and they have to prove themselves in the wilderness. It's like, yeah, it was more than that.
Anthropologists look. The Hadza in Tanzania, the ache in Paraguay, the Martu in Australia. Completely different environments, different continents. Same result, about 15 to 20 hours per week spent on survival activities. For context, you probably work twice that. Now, some of you are thinking, but those are modern people. How do we know ancient humans lived the same way? Fair question, and the answer comes from bones. When archaeologists compare skeletons of ancient humans to early agricultural populations, the difference is dramatic. Farmers were shorter. Their bones show signs of nutritional deficiency. Their teeth were riddled with cavities from grain-heavy diets. They had arthritis in their spines from repetitive labor, and they died younger. Ancient human skeletons, taller, stronger, healthier teeth, less joint damage. Their bones tell a clear story. They were doing less repetitive physical labor, not more. But the most fascinating evidence comes from something archaeologists found that shouldn't exist if survival was a constant struggle: art. In 1994, explorers discovered Chauvet Cave in southern France.
Yeah, it was clear they had free time. Like, they had time to kill. Cave art, even Neanderthals, non-Homo sapiens did cave art. Like, other versions of humans did cave art. Like, they were efficient enough to do shit. And I always think about that, too. Like, imagine being alive in a time where other versions of people existed. Like, not just, like, Homo habilis or, like, Neanderthals. Like, what was that one group of people that lived on, like, island countries and they were 3 feet tall? No, it wasn't Homo erectus. Oh, my God. Not Homo habilis. I think it's Homo florensis. Florensiensis. Homo florensiensis. It was like a cave. I can't show this. They're naked. It was a type of people that lived in Indonesia. And this is before Homo sapiens. And they were like averagely 3 feet tall. Like full grown. It wasn't like they were like little people or something. Like they were like averagely 3 feet tall. This is like the skull structure of them. You could look it up. All the images, they're butt naked. But they were like really tiny. And they lived and like flourished for like thousands of years. Like none of them are alive anymore, but they were alive 50K years ago. And then they went extinct. We're all if you are from non-African descent, the average, like, European individual, like a Caucasian male, is, like, 1% to 2% Neanderthal. Because they crossbreeded. And then we killed them.
Created roughly
or outcompeted them.
30,000 years ago. Horses.
Sucks there's different types of humans. Well, I think it would ground people more if there were different types of humans. I think we hold ourselves at this higher echelon because it's like, oh, we're not animals, we're people. But, like, if there were different types of humans, you would be like, oh, we're just animals. Like, it would be a lot more recognizable if there were, like, Neanderthals and Homo erectus still walking around. You'd be like, oh, there's, like, actually different types of fucking people, man.
Rendered with perspective, shading, and movement. These weren't crude stick figures. This was sophisticated art that required skill, planning, and most importantly, time. Someone spent hours, maybe days, deep inside a cave by firelight, painting animals on a wall. Not for survival, not for food, for beauty, for meaning, for something to do. In Blombo's cave in South Africa.
Well, and then even games. Like, what? Like, you could look up, like, I actually always look into this shit. Like, what's the earliest board game? What's the oldest game played? Like, what's the oldest game? Senet, an ancient Egyptian race game from the year 3100 BC. Bakamon from 3000 BC. So these were games for like 5,000 years ago. And then even then, there were probably just like stupid shit cavemen did. Like, who could hit this tree with a rock?
Archaeologists found 100,000-year-old
Soggy Biscuit. Yeah, Soggy Biscuit. A classic. An instant classic.
100,000-year-old perforated shell beads, tiny holes drilled through seashells, clearly meant to be strung together as jewelry. The nearest coastline was 20 kilometers away. Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip just to collect shells, then spent hours carefully drilling holes with stone tools, just to look good. In 2008,
Yeah, but I wonder how they had that. I feel like they had to be collecting and doing stuff in that time frame too, because like he's saying 15 to 20 hours a week was spent foraging and hunting. And yeah, I will say you want to be more sedentary because then you're burning more calories. Like there's no point. I'm forgetting that there's no food storage. So if you have food for the week, like say you have raw meat and you've cooked it, or you've like even maybe put it in salt, like earlier on, like humans figured that shit out. Like that's not lasting super long. Like if you have food, okay, I'm good for 3 days, and then I got to go get more food. There's no point in getting food now because I have it right now, and if I get more food, it'll rot. So it's like if you kill a deer, now you just do nothing for 3 days because you and your tribe are fine. Like you're just chilling. So it's like, all right, let's kill time. Let's go fuck around, and then we got to go find food again.
researchers found a 40,000-year-old flute carved from a vulture bone in Germany. 5 finger holes, perfectly spaced. Whoever made this understood music, they understood pitch, and they spent significant time crafting it. Not for hunting, not for defense, for music. These aren't
that's so cool, man. Somebody figured that shit out.
isolated finds. Across Europe, Africa, and Asia, archaeological sites from 100,000 years ago onward are filled with evidence of decorative objects. Carefully crafted tools far more elaborate than necessary for survival,
From 100,000 years ago?
and items that required hours of focused work with no immediate practical benefit. This is what people did when they weren't securing food. They created, they decorated, they made things beautiful. So let's reconstruct a day. You wake up around
Bro, I just want to know the first human that went, whoa, what? Who am I? You know? And then I assume that's where, like, it had to be, like, earlier language. Like, once language was made, you know, there were people that were using complex language to question feelings they once had. Like, before language, there might have been some sort of sentience and a feeling of, like, dread, and it's kind of unexplainable. And then now they're able to put it to words once they have language capabilities, like, generations down. And then there had to be a first guy that's like, wait, what are humans? Like, what are we?
the fire from last night is still smoldering. Someone adds wood. You eat leftover meat or fish from yesterday. Maybe some nuts or berries collected the day before. Breakfast is social. People talk. They plan loosely for the day. Not because they have
If there was no language, did they have inner voice? No, because your inner voice would be what the language you spoke is. So it'd be more animalistic and emotional based, maybe image based, like imagery in your brain. But earlier languages, it started out as like, you could look into like how languages begin. Written language is a lot more complex in how Next video. Fern video. Camp 14, the most horrible place in North Korea. We've done a lot of North Korea reacts, but they're all very interesting because it's so, like, crowded. There's so much mystery around North Korea and what they do, how they function, what they do to their people, how bad the lives are. I've never heard about Camp 14, so this is going to be interesting.
Class is about to start for these 40 school kids. Like every week, the teacher starts searching everyone's pockets. This time, he finds something on a little girl. 5 kernels of grain. The teacher snaps.
5 kernels of grain? They're searching their pockets before school starts. 5 kernels of grain is bad? Like rice?
And commands the
grain like wheat.
girl to come up front. She has to kneel down on the hard concrete floor. With a wooden stick, he strikes her on the head. Again.
On the head?
And again. And again. And again. Her classmates watch in silence. The beating goes on until the little girl collapses. Afterwards, her classmates carry her home. The same night, she dies.
What? For having 5 kernels of grain in her pocket, they fucking beat her to death? Why is that a violation?
The little girl and the other 39 children are all inmates in one of North Korea's deadliest prison camps, Camp 14.
Oh my God, no, we did hear about this in the Johnny... We didn't hear any specifics about it, but we heard about the camp, the Johnny Harris video, where you could see the camp and the outlines of it. And this is where they send, like, dude, it's like an entire city. There's like thousands of people that live there.
Comparisons have been drawn to the Nazi death camps, to the Soviet Gulag. You know, they're accurate, and in their own way, they're different.
A lawless detention facility hidden in the mountains of Kaishan, a place where people are imprisoned for the crimes of their parents. Once you end up here, you will most likely die here.
This is truly a space.
Crimes of their parents, but what's so weird that I don't understand about the camp is, like, yeah, in North Korea, if somebody tries to escape or they commit a crime, part of your family lineage is imprisoned in a camp. But if they have kids in that camp, are those kids also imprisoned? Like, is their family lineage perpetually there for the rest of eternity, or can they ever get out?
That is outside humanity, let me say that.
Prisoners are forced to work under inhumane conditions. The smallest mistake can cost them their lives. Escape is almost impossible. Only a handful make it out, risking everything on deadly routes.
Make it out, but then they probably have to go all the way out of North. If you make it out, you can't stay in North Korea. You would have to flee the country entirely, and I feel like Camp 14 isn't bordering, like, China.
In North Korea, there are several of these death camps, and the regime has kept them a secret for decades. But through the relentless work of human rights organizations, satellite imagery, and reports from survivors, we can have a glimpse at these facilities. Why are people being sent to Camp 14? What does daily life look like inside its walls?
I just don't understand why North Korea and Kim Jong-un, and, you know, whether or not he's a figurehead and his sister runs the country or it's a culmination of things, neither here nor there. Why purposefully crush your nation like that? Like, I understand he keeps his power. I think that's what it is. If he keeps his nation in, like, an impoverished state where the majority of people are either imprisoned, starving, or dirt poor, he can be rich. But, like, if he actually tried to even still keep it a dictatorship, not be a genocidal dictator, and actually run his country in a normal fashion, wouldn't that benefit his own people and therefore him as well? I think it's like he would rather it's better to be feared than loved, is what he's saying, right? I think that's kind of the mindset. Who said that? Another dictator said that. Machiavelli. But it's like, why? That's the route he's going down because it keeps him in power, but it's like, dude, your nation and you, I feel like he would be more rich. Even if he was less powerful, he would have access to more shit.
What horrors do the inmates face?
It gives himself more importance. I think it really boils down to also just like straight up narcissism, because he needs to be the center of his entire nation. And if his people are prosperous, then that he's not the guy they bend to.
And how do people actually get out? This is the story of the most horrific prison camp in North Korea.
It's some Hitler shit. Well, it's the same sense of Hitler shit in, like, he's basically being genocidal to his people. But Hitler was obsessed with world domination. Kim Jong-un's not obsessed with world domination. Kim Jong-un cyclically develops nuclear powers and fucking scares other countries till they defuse the situation. He steps back a little bit and he gets aid, right? And he kind of just does that over and over again to farm wealth for himself and his higher-ups, but still keep his people even like well below the poverty line, like dying poverty line.
This story is based on Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden. One former prisoner of Camp 14 later changed parts of his story. Every time you see this symbol, it marks those revisions. If you want to know more about the exact changes and the reasons behind them, we recommend reading this article. Since North Korea did...
I would just be so worried, even as a North Korea defector. Like, if you left North Korea and you wrote about it, don't you think that Kim Jong-un, at least in part, his insanity, he hires some people to try and track these people down? Like, even if now in modern day you live in, like, Switzerland, or you live in Germany, or even the United States, I could easily foresee, like, Kim Jong-un trying to hire people to come kill you. Like... because he doesn't want you to talk shit about him. Like, that's how tight-knit this is. Is he, like, they hate satellite. I wouldn't be surprised if they have shit underground now. Or that's what he's planning to do, because then that keeps shit under wraps. Because he could say all the time, no, we don't have death camps. But, like, you could see them on Google Earth. But now if he puts it underground, you can't tell.
Denies the existence of these camps, independent verification is not possible. Shin Dong-hyuk is just a young boy when he witnesses the little girl being punished for having food in her pocket. Shin has no doubt she deserved it. After all, she stole food. And in Camp 14, stealing means...
Stole food, bro. 5 fucking grains of wheat? What is that, 2 calories? Or is that just supposed to be indicative that, like, she stole more?
He doesn't question it. He knows nothing else. The camp rules are...
It is brainwashed. It is. He's grown up in a camp where, in his mind, it makes logical sense that she should die. Because that's all he's known. It's like, I don't want to tune it to, like, being told Santa's real, but it's like, when you're a kid, you tell anybody anything, they're going to believe it. And if you grow up in a genocidal camp, and they teach you, hey, like, stealing is so wrong that you should die for it, he's probably not even going, wow, that's terrible. He's going, oh, yeah, you know.
reality.
He's real, though? Yeah.
Shin
Oh, you mean Santa? No.
was born in Camp 14, but his parents didn't fall in love. They were assigned to each other by prison guards. Intimacy...
I'm sorry, bro. And I feel like there's a argument to be made where, you know... Hey, Joe, you might have younger viewers that still believe in that. Bro, you like still believe in that shit? We're talking about genocidal dictators in North Korea, and in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I hope Santa's going to get me presents this year. I'm sorry, man. Like, you just shouldn't be watching me if you believe in that shit. Like, I'm not going to do this facade anymore of like, oh, you know, fucking, bro, come on. Like...
between men and women is strictly forbidden. If a woman becomes pregnant without...
We're watching a video about a fucking genocidal camp, and people are like, but Santa's real, right?
...permission. Intimacy between men and women is strictly forbidden. If a woman becomes pregnant without permission, both she and the baby are shot.
What? Wait.
Is strictly forbidden. They were assigned to each other by prison guards. Intimacy between men and women is strictly forbidden. If a woman becomes pregnant without permission, both she and the baby are shot.
Without permission? How does she get permit? What do you mean? She has to ask?
In Camp 14, there is only one way to have a child: promotion.
Promotion?
Those who work hard, and more importantly, snitch on others, may be granted a reward marriage. This is how Shin Dong-hyuk and his older brother Shin Hee-gyun come into the world. But they don't grow up as a real family.
I do want to question the moral. I think it's a survival in that sense from the parents' perspective. But in that scenario, wouldn't you say, like, why are you having a kid? Maybe in hopes that they get out of it, or like going back to a regular, because they're saying promotion, so I'm assuming maybe you live a better life in the camp and you're able to go to school rather than just do like slave labor over and over again. But it's like now this kid's basically being born into slavery.
Their mother never talks about the past.
And they probably don't even have the option. It's like you're allowed to have a kid, but I feel like it's also just like, no, you're going to have a kid. Hey, you've been good. We're going to reward you. I don't want it. No, you need to take it. Like, that's probably what it is.
Their mother never talks about the past. Shin has no clue why his parents were imprisoned, and it probably wouldn't matter anyway.
Oh, but he does know that they're in a prison camp.
It's all about suspicion. You know, you don't have to be an anti-regime character. But if you're suspected of being anti-regime, of being a wrongdoer, a wrong thinker, of having engaged in wrong associations, they will send you to the camp.
This is Greg Scarlatoiu. He's president and CEO of HRNK, the Washington-based Committee on Human Rights in North Korea. For years, Greg and his team have been investigating human rights abuses at these camps. Like many others, Shin will most likely stay in Camp 14 for the rest of his life, even though he never committed a crime. This is the house Shin and his mother live in. Along with his mother's promotion came slightly better housing.
Okay, so that's answering my question. Because I kept saying, why would she have a kid if it's not, it's helping her. She gets a better house, better room, maybe she doesn't have to share. Like, they're able to live, not a normal life by any means, but, like, they get their own space.
They share it with 3 other families and
Never mind.
sleep on the floor.
Holy fuck, they don't even get a bed? So they just sleep in a bare bones house, no furniture, nothing. So it's just a roof, no AC, no heat. It's just to keep them out of, like, the rain.
They share it with 3 other families and sleep on the floor.
Oh my god.
There is a single light bulb in the kitchen. Electricity works for just 2 hours a day. There's no running water, no furniture, no shower, and barely enough food to survive.
Bro, like, I always... See, this is, like, such a weird... Because, like, that's evil. That's evil, right? And can we agree? I think there's a difference between bad and evil people. This is, like, another level of... You're not even human anymore. In the most I don't even care if that sounds fucked up. Like, if you're willingly putting hundreds of thousands of people to do this, you're not a human, right? Like, you have no moral groundings. It's not like you fuck up and you're just not seeing the right way and you're ignorant, right? Because a lot of bad people are bad out of ignorance. This is bad not out of ignorance, out of the willingness to go, I'm going to fuck over and murder hundreds of thousands of my own people for the sole purpose of keeping me in power and keeping my narcissistic ways the way they are, right? Kim Jong-un gets to eat whatever the fuck he wants. He gets to smoke expensive cigarettes and have nice whiskey, and his people are dying in camps in the middle of the fucking woods.
The building is part of a model village.
Like, how do you do that? I don't, like, I understand he wants to keep himself in power. It's like, you could still be the leader of North Korea and not do this to your people, man.
One of many. Camp 14 is estimated to cost...
And then they open, and then it's just so weird. Like, how they opened tourism for, like, a week, and then all these vloggers came, and they were like, yeah, this is fake as shit. That's clearly guided. And then they immediately close it. Right? It's because, like, they're trying to get tourism maybe for money, but I feel like it's propaganda. Like, in a weird way, it's like, we need to convince... And is that not telling that what they're doing is wrong? Like, that's how he knows. Because he's going, we're putting people in camps. We don't want them to know that we keep our people in camps. So we're going to do guided North Korea tours to make it seem like our country's amazing so people don't attack us more. Like, what the fuck?
Of around 150...
Israel's just as evil? Well, what's going on in Israel is also fucking insane with not Yahoo and the bombing of fucking Palestinians and shit, and they fucking bomb, you know, hospitals and stuff. And people always get mad in return and be like, well, Hamas is under the hospital. You know nothing about that, Joe. Oh, my fucking God. So, oh, yeah, no, it's okay to bomb innocent civilians then. Yeah, it's a tough situation if that's true. Okay, but that doesn't mean you just fucking go right for the hospital. Well, the U.S. did it in fucking in the fucking war in the Middle East. That doesn't make it okay. 153,000 kilometers squared. Can you guys visualize that? Whenever if you hit me with that number, I have no idea how big that is.
Square kilometers.
Like, how big is that? How big is 153 square kilometers? Like, what's 5 square kilometers? Like, what's like a block? What's like a New York block?
Almost 3 times the size of Manhattan.
Okay.
It is secured by...
There we go. So it's huge.
A 60-kilometer fence, patrol paths, barracks, guard posts, and checkpoints. The whole area stretches from river valleys to mountain peaks. The wilderness and the Taedong River
Do they have an estimated amount of how many people are in this camp?
act as a natural barrier, an immense obstacle course separating the facility from the outside world. Little villages are scattered across the vast area, containing housing and working units.
These are sprawling facilities. They're very large facilities. So at some of these facilities, you see farming, agriculture going on. You see some of these facilities that are adjacent to coal mines or other types of mineral exploitation.
And it also has a school.
I'm thinking that do you think these camps fund like a large portion of like North Korea's money? Like, I wonder if there was like a pie graph or a pie chart, what percentage funds what? Because they don't really have a lot of opportunity for trade. Most countries don't fuck with North Korea for very obvious reasons. And they don't trade with them. And so all of their wealth has to come from in-house. And so I feel like to keep their country propped up, like the camp kind of runs that because they don't pay any of these workers. They just do basically slave labor.
City. And it also has a school. This is where Shin goes every day. His teacher wears a guard's uniform, carries a weapon.
They export a lot of minerals and coal. Yeah, but I mean that's not like hyper valuable. Like that's not gonna like their nation. Even the best parts of North Korea are like very bad. Like they don't have nice stuff.
And teaches obedience above all else. Camp rules are brutal. There are 10 of them. Even the smallest violation can lead to execution. Shin memorizes them all. Rule 1.
Wait, what?
Execution. Shin memorizes them all.
I think it's more insane to me too. Like even on the levels of like them having these concentration camps, like killing an adult for fucking up a rule versus like a born in camp child beating them to death in front of their fellow students because they stole 5 grains of fucking wheat.
Rule 1. Any witness to an attempted escape who fails to report it will be shot immediately.
Wow.
Rule 3. Anyone who steals or conceals any foodstuffs will be shot immediately. Rule 5. Anyone who holds or hides a fugitive's possessions, conspires with him, or fails to report him will be shot immediately. The guards enforce the rules without mercy.
내가 총을 꾸려서 뭐 쏘거나 해도 한나무
I didn't feel the slightest bit guilty even though I killed so
가책을
often there.
느끼지 않았어요. 일반적으로 우리는 그때 써도 나라를 지키.
We thought it was the right thing to do to protect our country. So are these people just brainwashed? Yeah, I didn't feel bad. I was killing 5-year-olds. They stole rice. They stole food. That's bad for the country. Yeah, because that one kid stealing 5 grains of fucking wheat's gonna topple down North Korea from the bottom up.
지키기 위해서 내가 한 일이기 때문에. 그 수용소에는.
It really does bring up that hard question of like, are the soldiers responsible for things that the nation tells them to do? And I mean, that's ongoing today. It was in World War II with Germany. It was in Japan. It was in the US. It was everywhere where it's like, you're being commanded to do this. While you're not entirely responsible, it's like, you're still making the wherewithal decision to be like, yeah, I'm going to like kill these kids.
그 들어오게 되면 사람이 아니에요. 사람이 아니고 그 뭐 내 마음대로 해도 돼요. 그 안에 사람은 은 사람이 아니에요. 사람이 아니고 그 뭐 내 마음대로 해도 돼요. 그 안에 사람은.
And that's what's fucked is it's like, I think there's like a line they cross where that's how they deal with it in the most fucked up way. It's because if you're seeing them as human, you don't then your some level of morality inside of you kicks in. Where it's like these soldiers are like purposely perceiving these people as non-human, and then it doesn't matter what happens to them in their brain.
그 자리에서 죽이게 했으면 죽이고 살리게 했으면 살리고 하는 건 내 마음에. 뭐 설명해 주세요.
And that's also just like power hungry shit. I think people feed off that. If you're like growing up a soldier, especially in North Korea, where you've also probably grown up in a pretty shitty life, now you're giving power over others, right? Where like the power that's been inflicted, it's like a very hyper evolved version of like what's happening to you, you inflict onto others. What did he say? He was saying he had the power to kill or not kill anybody. It was entirely up to him.
Across North Korea, there are different
Like he probably liked that.
types of detention facilities. The worst of them are called Kwanliso. Camp 14 is one of them. It's also called a total control zone.
People never get out of those. You know, they just waste away. They get killed by this vicious cycle of malnutrition and forced labor.
Shin's mother has to work the rice fields, 10 to 15 hours of hard labor every day. If she meets her quota,
15 hours straight?
she receives food, just enough to survive the night and make it through the next day.
North Korea is all about production targets. If you don't meet them, and probably you will not meet them, you'll get less food, more work, less food, more work, and that's how you waste away and die. That's, you know, the truly tragic story at these camps.
From the moment Shin starts school, his life is split between the classroom and hard labor in the coal mine. Long workdays are made worse by a constant gnawing hunger. Before school, Shin often eats his mother's portion while she's still out in the fields. She beats him for it, but he does it anyway. To him, she's not a source of love or care. She's a rival in the fight for every meager scrap of food.
Wow.
This is Shin's meal, served 3 times a day for his entire prison life. If he makes a mistake, his portion is cut in half as punishment. Sometimes he and the other inmates catch rats, the only source of meat in Camp 14. For Shin, this isn't as much as a nightmare. It's normal life. He has never seen the world beyond the barbed wire. Unlike this man. Kim Young is in his mid-40s when he's brought to Camp 14. He knows the world outside very well. In fact, he was a high-ranking military officer and vice president of a state-owned company. In his former life, he enjoyed culture, a chauffeur, and all the benefits of being a government employee. Now he's also forced to work in the coal mines. Kim didn't break any laws to get here. His parents...
That's what's fucked, because that's how dictatorships work, because you have to bend... You can't just be an all... You can't be an all-ruling dictator without people below you. And that's like, it's the rule. There's a video that I want to watch called The Rules of the Ruler as well, where it kind of dives into that. But it's like, if you're a dictator, you have to please all 4 people below you that run different areas of your government. And those 4 people have to please the 5 people below them, right? And at some point, you don't have to please people anymore because they just have to bend to your power. But you have to keep people in power happy, otherwise they will turn on you. So that's why Kim Jong-un never gets turned on, because he keeps the people right below him happy, because they lived a shitty life. He brought them out of it and said, hey, if you just follow my rules and do what I do, you'll have power, you'll have a chauffeur, you'll have a mansion, you'll have a nice wife, you'll have this and this and this and this and food and cigarettes and weed and fucking whatever the fuck they want, right? And they'll go, okay. And so they'll just do whatever he says.
Kim didn't break any laws to get here. His parents did. In North Korea, this form of collective punishment is called yunjoje.
Wow.
Guilt by association. Up to 3 generations can be punished for crimes of family members. When Kim was a child, his father and brother were accused of spying for the United States, enough to execute them. After that, Kim was brought to an orphanage under a new name. It took more than 40 years until someone found out about his true heritage. Even Kim himself wasn't aware of the supposed crimes his family allegedly committed.
And that's insane! He didn't even know! He didn't even know. Oh, sorry, no, now you're gonna fucking get stripped of everything.
There's absolutely no judicial process. This is extrajudicial punishment. They'll just, take you away in the middle of the night, together with your family members. You just disappear. That's how it goes.
대낮에 잡아가는 건 없어요. 다 밤에 그냥 원래 그냥 어느 순간에 와서 싹 다 쓸어 가고.
Without the neighbors noticing. So one day you're just living your life like in whatever, if you're in the city in North Korea or wherever, and then the next day your neighbor just disappears. Wow, and then you just don't talk about it. And it's just like, but it's just unspoken. It's like, oh, he disappeared. We know where he is.
정치범 수용소에 가서도 그 가족들은 우리가 뭘 잘못해서 왔는지 그걸 모른다는 거죠.
Fear is the most powerful tool for prison guards to keep inmates in line. During Kim's time in Camp 14, a total of 25 inmates are executed. One day, he witnesses a fellow prisoner being killed for collecting chestnuts that had fallen from a tree. Kim
Chestnuts that had fallen from a tree. Were they even being used?
Spends most of his days underground. Hours and hours of endless work with no sunlight and no mercy. Kim struggles. He's never faced labor like this before. Mistakes are inevitable, and every one of them is met with the punishment of a guard who never leaves his side.
Do you think he had like an internal wow moment? Because he was a high-ranking military official, and then now he's being sent to where he probably had to send other people.
One day, a guard strikes Kim with the butt of his gun till he falls unconscious. For the next 2 days, he only receives half his meals. After more than 2 months of living like this in Camp 14, Kim decides to end it. Following a long day of work, he steps into the elevator of a mining shaft. The metal cage ascends until it reaches a height of around 2,000 feet. He pulls the safety pin, and the elevator falls. But Kim survives, and the vicious cycle goes on. When Shin is about 6 or 7, the camp's borders shift. His village is merged into the neighboring Camp 18, just across the river. It's said to be slightly less brutal than Camp 14, but for Shin, life hardly changes at all.
Oh, he got moved to a different camp over?
Shin is 15 and has moved out from his mother's home. He now lives with his father. One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother.
Wait, he got awarded for good behavior, but he tried to take his own life in an elevator. Did they just think it was an accident or something?
One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits.
Oh, it's the previous kid. It's when he grew up. This is him when he's older?
When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother, Shin Hee-gyun. The 21-year-old works at the prison cement factory, a couple of miles away. Shin doesn't like him at all. In the middle of the night, Shin wakes up from his sleep. He hears voices from the kitchen. His brother is talking about escape. His mother seems to support him. Shin's first instinct, he has to report this.
Oh my god. Dude, having to rat on your own family, they'll die. Holy shit. Like, I was thinking it in the sense of like, oh, you just see some guy at like your work doing that. Like your own you would have to fucking snitch on your own family. And because, and it's not even snitch on them and like, oh, they'll just get punished. No, they're going to get shot in the head in front of you. And then you'll be like, not even really rewarded. It's just like, okay, you're not going to die.
He goes to a nearby dorm room and wakes a friend to ask for advice. The friend urges Shin to tell the guards. They go to the school's night guard on duty and report the escape plot.
Wow.
Shin also signs a false police statement, claiming he saw his mother and brother commit murder. This piece of evidence ultimately leads to an execution order.
Wait, so they had to fucking... Wait, what? So they have to fake that they committed a crime so they could kill him? I thought they were just able to kill him for conspiracy to run.
The guards take Shin to an execution site next to the Taedong River.
Why are they taking him there? I wouldn't want to go see that.
A crowd has gathered to watch. They drag out his mother and his brother. They're killed in front of Shin's eyes. In 1996, Kim Young is transferred to Camp 18. To him, this place feels like heaven. The labor conditions are slightly better, and to his surprise, he reunites with his 70-year-old mother, who is also a prisoner here. But the violence and abuse
70-year-old mother, I thought his mom just died.
don't stop. One day, he has to witness how guards beat up his mother and force her to do manual labor. His mother is certain they will both
Oh, other guy. We keep bouncing back between people. Sorry, this is the dude that used to be a high-ranking military official.
labor. His mother is certain they will both die in the camp. Even though it means risking his life, she urges Kim to leave her behind and escape. Escaping from a North Korean death camp is almost impossible.
You know, these are highly protected facilities. You're talking barbed wire, walls, armed guards, intersecting lines of fire.
Well, it's not even just that. You're also extremely you're experiencing extreme malnutrition. And so you're weak. You know, you can't run. You can't you're not going to be able to scale a fence very easily. You have no muscle.
We're talking machine guns. Very, very difficult to escape. I mean, it's, difficult to escape a detention facility in any civilized country. Imagine North Korea.
Kim Young quietly studies his surroundings. He observes, waits, and starts thinking. He lays out multiple escape plans, but none of them seem doable to him. Another hard day of work. The prisoners are loading coal onto a train. Suddenly, they spot something. Grain scattered across the bottom of a train car. It must have transported food before. The scene explodes into chaos. Prisoners drop everything, desperately looking for the tiniest speck of food.
What, are they going to eat it right there?
The guards start shouting, but no one listens. Kim discovers a narrow space beneath a metal panel in the floor of a coal wagon. He squeezes inside, and as the train rumbles out of Camp 18, he rides with it.
No way.
Hours later,
He got out because people were staring at grain from, so he didn't even plan this escape. He just like on a whim just tried to get out. Is this based off a true story? This is a true story. This is basically the video version of an actual man's account that escaped North Korea and wrote a book about it.
Later, the train reaches Goan Station at around 4 a.m. We don't know exactly how, but Kim manages to crawl out of his hideout and disappears into the night.
But like, then what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know if I got out and now you're in, say you're in China. What do you do? Like, do you just go, you gotta go, you get a job? You have no ID. You're not a citizen, right? It's not even just like it's not even like, oh, you're an illegal immigrant. It's like, you're not even on a record. No one knows who you are. Like, I would have to find, you know what I would do? I would go to another, like, say I was in this scenario, I feel like I would try to go to a country I knew was enemies with North Korea, and I would go to I would try my hardest to find what is it called, where they have like their own setup in different countries? What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. Embassy. I would go to like the US embassy, and I would be like, I'm a North Korea escapee. Like, I would go to some embassy because he was a soldier too, so he knows the countries that are enemies. I would go to the enemy of North Korea and be like, I escaped. Like, please, you don't speak English? I think they're going to put 2 and 2 together. If you are at a U.S. embassy in China and some dude runs in speaking Korean, clearly malnourished, beat to shit, you're probably going to be like, okay, calm down. I'm going to get a translator. Right? Even if you don't speak, say you don't speak the language. You know, I feel like there's something that you'd be able to do.
Kim successfully
I'm not
escaped
even
Camp
just saying
18.
U.S. embassy, just any embassy that's not in association or partnered with North Korea.
But his path to freedom is still very long. After finding a worker's uniform, he changes clothes.
You want to know what an embassy is? Ooh, that's true. But you can't just walk up to a random guy in China and be like, I'm from North Korea, help me. You're not going to be able to speak to them, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're just going to rat on you.
And starts a treacherous journey that will take him many months through China and
Oh my god, he had to go all the way to Mongolia
to South Korea, where he'll eventually
What? He had to make his way all the way to Mongolia so he could catch a flight to South Korea?
seek asylum. Escaping a prison is one thing. Escaping the country is another. We made a whole video on how to escape North Korea. Link is in the description.
Yeah, we watched that video.
Shin also manages to escape from Camp 18 twice, both times by crawling under a fence. Both times he's recaptured. After his
I'm wondering why he wasn't killed if he was recaptured.
second attempt, Shin is sent back to Camp 14 and is thrown into a special detention center, a place with only one purpose: torture.
I still have the scars of my torture and the burns. Look at my arms. My arms aren't normal. They are bent and deformed. Before
His arm is like they snapped it.
I was tortured, my arms were straight. When I was tortured, my arms were tied up with a rope and pulled backwards. That made them more and more bent. I'm filled with anger when I stand in front of the mirror and look at my body after a shower.
After 4 weeks of torture, he's thrown into a pitch-black cell. No windows and barely enough space to lie down. There he'll spend the next 6 months. After his release, Shin is thrown back to the general prison population. He has to work in the coal mine, the farm fields, and eventually in a garment factory. This is where he meets Park Young-chul, a man unlike anyone Shin has ever seen. Born into an elite family, Park once held a prestigious job and had seen the world beyond North Korea's borders.
What? So he left North Korea?
By then, Shin already knows he's on the execution list. With Park at his side, he begins planning what will be Shin's third and final escape. Shin and Park are assigned to do some woodwork up in the mountains. along with some prisoners. They're chopping wood near the outer fence. The camp's fence is around 10 feet high.
How many guards do you think they got for, like, a group of people? Because part of me's thinking, like, you could just rush those motherfuckers, you know?
Lined with high-voltage barbed wire.
But I feel like, bro, if you got a group of 10 people, they probably got, like, 3 guards. And they're all holding machine guns or rifles.
The next guard tower is a quarter of a mile away. Shin watches.
Some people would die. Yeah, well, realistically, they probably have enough guards to where all of them would die, so they can't revolt. But I'm thinking, like, if you had 2 guards and 10 people, you could realistically try, like, knowing 8 of you are going to die, but, like, 2 of you are going to be able to overpower them and live, and then you just steal their shit.
The patrols. There are long gaps between them where no guard is close enough to spot the 2. The plan is simple. Wait until dusk so that their footprints can't easily be traced in the snow. They slip through the high-voltage wires without touching them.
Risky maneuver.
As the sun sets, Shin and Park move closer to the fence. They hack branches, pretending to stack wood. Nobody notices them. Park hesitates. Shin's heart races. He grabs Park's hand and they run. Shin slips. Park reaches the fence before him. He tries to squeeze his head between the 2 lowest wires and hits one of them. Park's body is not moving. The bottom wire bends under his weight, creating a narrow gap.
Oh my god, and you just leave him. Oh my god, you just leave him.
Shin crawls over Park's
You have to.
body. He's almost past the fence when his legs slip, hitting one of the wires. The voltage tears through him. His pants char. His skin burns from ankle to knee.
It's that fucking high a voltage? Did it kill him?
But somehow he makes it through.
No! Okay.
Park's body lies dead on the fence. Shin runs without looking back
Oh, because he got hit in the head.
for 2 hours straight until he realizes that he made it. He manages to cross the river to China, and after a journey of almost 2 years, he finally reaches South Korea. These are all the prison camps that are most likely active in North Korea today. According to Greg Scarlatoiu,
Like right now. Like right now. I know time difference, like it's 7 p. Time difference, what time is it in North Korea? It's 8 a.m. There's people in North Korea right now in camps that are like doing slave labor. Right now. Like right now, there's probably thousands of people that are actively fucking doing crops, cutting wood, being beaten to death. Fuck, man.
the camps are changing, and not for the better. Camps near the border have reportedly been moved further inland, likely to make escape even harder. And some new internal perimeters have appeared, possibly to isolate high-value prisoners.
The third development in terms of infrastructure, evolution and development has been the creation of watchtowers and what appears to be intersecting lines of fire around the camps. That would be meant to basically exterminate those who attempt to leave those camps.
For some camps, evidence is even scarcer.
There's one camp that we know very little about, and that's Camp 16, 1-6. That's very close to the Punggye-ri nuclear testing facility. And I have spoken with the South Korean nuclear scientists who said, look, we don't believe that prisoners are used in digging those tunnels for the nuclear tests, but it is very likely that they will be, used and abused while cleaning up after those nuclear tests.
The
Oh my God, what? And then they're gonna like die of radiation.
HRNK estimates that up to 120,000
120,000 people in these camps?
people are currently held in North Korean prison camps. In fact, as a viewer of this video, you might know more about them than most North Koreans ever will.
We have to remember that these people are being tortured and maimed today. They were tortured and maimed yesterday, and the same will happen tomorrow. So, I think it's a matter of moral, ethical, religious, and political obligation to continue to maintain our interest in these issues.
This is Shin today. He gradually adjusted to a life in society and became a public speaker and advocate for human rights in North Korea. In 2015, Shin Dong-hyuk retracted parts of his story and admitted to changing certain key details in Escape from Camp 14. The book's author published a detailed statement outlining every change Shin had made. According to Shin, some memories were simply too painful, and others too shameful to share truthfully at the time. This is
wow. So it's not even like he made it seem worse. He made it seem better than it was. Like one of the edits it showed was that he hated his brother, and so it was easier for him to rat on him.
a common reaction for victims of torture, who often cope by suppressing or distorting their accounts of what really happened. Greg Scarlatoiu and others believe Shin's changes don't alter the fundamental truth of his reports.
Was Shin Dong-hyuk a political prisoner? Yes, 100%. Okay, he spent some time both at Camp 14 and Camp 18, right across the river. Did he witness the execution of his mother and brother? Yes, he did. So the fundamental elements of Shin Dong-hyuk's story did not change.
Shin bears the
Yeah, it's like small little additions to each part of the story.
scars, physical and psychological.
I just don't know how you could physically live a regular life after that. You know what I mean? Like they're very like advocative and they do public speaking work, but it's like always in the back of your mind, you're going to be like, people I knew are in that camp right now. Like you escaped and now you could live in South Korea. But it's like, you know, there's over 100,000 people that are there still, and they're just never going to get out. Wow. That's a sad video, but I'm glad we watched it. All right, count me down 30 seconds, Sean. I got to piss, then we're going to hop in and out, right? It's cutting in and out. Like, it's like 420p, like 10 FPS. You hear me, but like the video's low quality, and I'm like showing an alien, right? And I'm like videoing the alien, and I have like a big spotlight on its body. Let's say it looks however you think an alien would look. What are you believing it, or what question would you be to be like, prove that's an alien? It's dead. It's dead. It's just in the world. It's dead. Its spaceship is also like mangled on fire in the woods. Pick it up. You'd say pick it up. Open its mouth. Ooh, that'd be scary though. Because what if it was still alive, like a deer? You think it's dead, it starts kicking. Cut it open, lick it, bro. Eat it? What? Nah. I feel like actually, dude, there would be some cornball that would send me 300 bits and be like, how much for you to eat its finger?
And compiled eyewitness testimonies and accounts from the early 1970s.
How much for you to take a bite of it?
However, Macduff informed this friend to not go public or attempt to make any money with the evidence.
How much? There's no amount of money. There's no amount of money for me to be like, okay, yeah, sure, I'd bite the... Dude, what? You're getting a disease.
Because, as he saw it, it would almost guarantee being discredited and humiliated, possibly in a public way. In any case, we were very surprised by the former ufologist's conclusion. Not wanting to be taken for kooks or crackpots, we simply decided to keep it to ourselves, as a sort of secret. We showed the video privately to close friends with open minds, but not to the public. Like many witnesses of unexplained phenomena, I also feared that if I showed the video to the public, people would end up mocking us. And so the tape was kept as a secret.
If my friend that I've known for years randomly goes, I saw an alien a few years ago, here's some photos, I would be annoyed that they didn't take the alien's body. Like, I would be mad at them. I'd be like, why would you not put it in a box and cover it in salt and try and preserve it in some way? Like, you left it outside.
In this friend group, and shown only occasionally to people who they trusted. However,
that's actually TOS. You know, if I got banned on Twitch for showing a dead alien, I think I'd be okay with that. I don't think I would be upset. I don't think Dan Clancy would be mad at me as well. If in this actual scenario, I think if I showed a dead alien and then I got banned, I would be like, you know, this is for the greater good.
Fast forward 17 years later to 2008. In October 2008, around 17 years after the photos came into my life, I finally decided to try my luck at solving the mystery. Lacking the equipment to convert the VHS of the EB...
Yo, how do you live a regular life? Like that, bro, that's like the worst thing that could happen to you. That's like, I always talk about how I would love to see an alien, and I still stand on that. But like logically thinking, you seeing Bigfoot, a Yeti, an alien, any mythical creature or scientific creature, if you saw that and then no one believed you, you would be the crazy guy that saw an alien. Like, you wouldn't be able to like just go to work the next day.
Photos into a digital file, I had to film the VHS footage with my digital camera by recording it off the screen of my tube TV. I then uploaded the video online through the video sharing site YouTube. Thanks to this format, anyone can remain anonymous, and by avoiding judgment, share their stories or discoveries in peace.
Lame.
From there, the video was briefly
Lame. Bro, I feel like I would just be like, this is an alien I saw.
picked up within ufology circles, but not to the degree that the uploader had.
Them being anonymous makes me think it's fake.
They write, to help witnesses come forward or encourage investigators to take an interest, I included the email address etrangevideos@yahoo.ca at the bottom of the video description on YouTube. Strangely, at first, only one Quebecois investigator came forward, a certain Mr. Morin from Avni, Quebec. He published the details of the case on his website, where I used the pseudonym Mr. R. In December 2008, a journalist from a local newspaper in Riviera Rouge wrote an article about the video. We stayed in touch by email, in case any witnesses pictured in the photos eventually came forward. In January 2009, I reached out to another investigator. However, he declined to investigate, mainly because the only proof I had was the VHS.
That's why you cut off its dick. Cut its dick off. They got whole museums about penises, bro. If you had its dick, they would be like, this isn't a dick of an animal I've seen before. Must be another creature.
2013, I received an email from a Mr. Garcia in Mexico who worked for a TV show called Tercer Milenio, or Third Millennium. He wanted a Skype interview.
You know they had a penis museum in Iceland and I didn't go? And I didn't know about that until recently, and I'm really upset about it. I'm really upset about it. Because I would have so gone to that. A museum where I just walk around, there's just a bunch of penises in jars from, like, varying animals. How interesting that would be. I think I need to go back just for that. I go back for 6 hours, go to the museum, leave. Why would you want to do that? Dude, I love weird museums. I love a museum where it's like, this is a man's colon that was enlarged so much that it ended up killing him. This is a random artifact. I love, like, weird museums. Stuff like that. Like, when we went to Salem and it was the torture museum, bro, that was sick. Being able to see all that.
Anonymous. By January of 2016, the 2008 upload had amassed well over 400,000 views. That same month, a YouTuber named NewBeat2012 uploaded a detailed breakdown of the tape called Authentic Alien Grey EBE Footage Analyzed, Quebec, 1992, which was specifically mentioned by the uploader. I looked into NewBeat2012, and thanks to the Wayback Machine, I found that NewBeat did indeed exist, as did his video, which was also available. In the video, he explicitly talks about the anatomy of the being and how much detail it had, a bit more than what would have been expected from an amateur prop maker in 1992, especially for a hoax. In his video, NewBeat looks at 5 distinct areas: the neck, the legs, pectorals, arms, and torso, and shows
Why are we using these images on a fucking alien video, bro?
that these areas have a great deal more of detail than what
Elon Musk?
otherwise a simple hoax may require. Now, naturally, this is difficult to fully claim given the low quality of the original video, but you do seem to be able to make out distinct details of the neck, as he shows here, along with the shoulder area.
I don't know, bro. I refuse to believe that weak-ass neck would fucking hold his bowling ball of a head up.
Along with the shoulder area. And a clear view of the sternomastoid, more commonly recognized as the V-shaped muscles you see connecting from behind the ear down to your collarbone. And what may be a coracobrachialis, pectorals, and abdominals. But what I found most interesting was his analysis of the legs, which genuinely do seem to have a lot of muscle definition.
No dick!
When props of aliens are made, there is usually some basic musculature included, some of which would be the same areas that NewBeat2012 highlighted, but this one stood out the most. You can see what appears to be fairly recognizable muscles comparable to a human leg. And that begs the question, would a prop for a hoax in the early days of YouTube require this?
And why is every alien, bro? Do you really think aliens would be that scrawny? Like, the more intelligent they get, the weaker they get? Because every, like, fake alien image I've ever seen looks like some 3-foot alien I could throw against the wall and it would shatter. Like red mist. Like, I just punch it and it would just die. Like, just fucking, they have the structural integrity of an infant. Like, you literally, you just throw them and they die.
Here, he inverts a close-up of the body, and you can see what looks like, at first, wrapping. But I don't believe this is wrapping. I believe it's peeling, blistering outer skin. Schizo checkpoint ahead. A tinfoil hat is required beyond this point, because we're going in one level deeper. In 2023, an alleged whistleblower came forward on r/aliens discussing, in depth, the anatomy of gray alien corpses he studied on behalf of the US government. It became rather infamous in ufology circles for how detailed the science presented behind their biology was. This post was even covered by AJ from the Y-Files in a 1-hour, 30-minute stream on his channel, The Y-Files Backstage.
The guy who posted it, whoever he was, or she, he reads like a man.
Now, this case will get its own video, as I have a lot to say on it, but for now, I only want to pick out the crucial details and compare them to this case. This alleged whistleblower on Reddit wrote, "The gray skin that is often described in folklore is in fact a biosynthetic film which, likely, serves to protect the EBO, or extra biospheric organism, from a hostile environment. It doesn't provide effective protection against temperature changes, but it does offer adequate protection against the passage of liquids."
What, so their skin's good for fucking, protecting them from getting wrinkled in the water? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
It's possible that this film confers other advantages, but my knowledge on the subject is limited. Under the gray film, the epidermis is rather white, and the texture is very regular and without any hair. So, from my perspective, it may be possible that this wrapping we see is the outer skin coming apart. In fact, a lot of the physical details of this corpse match this man's account. For instance, he also wrote, "The head contains 2 large, oversized eyes, 2 nostrils without protuberance, a narrow mouth without lips, and 2 ear canals without..."
Yeah, mouth without lips. How's it eat?
Auricles. There is a mandible, but the musculature is vestigial. There are no teeth or tongue in the oral cavity. So
it just sucks in food. It just. What is it? A filter feeder, bro? Oh my god.
we see in the video is essentially an exact match. 2 large eyes, basically a flat nose, a very narrow lipless mouth, no ears, and a small jaw. This is what he wrote about the eyes.
Yo, I'm killing that thing. Oh my god. Chat. All right, new scenario. I fucking go live. I go live 2 a.m. There's a crashed alien ship. And it's like on fire. And I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I gotta go investigate it. And I have like a hammer because it's the only thing that I found as a weapon. And I go I walk up to it and it's like it goes, and it's like crawling out. And you just watch me mallet its head in. I just fucking kill it. Just right there, you're like, yo, we could have spoken to it. And I'm just like, it had to go. It was a threat. I just kill it. Just right there and then. Oh my god. I would be upset at you. You would be mad. Would you guys be okay, chat, what if I was like, I was scared though? Like the alien comes crawling out and I just fucking instantly start killing it. It's the only one in the ship. Now it's just dead. We couldn't ask it any questions. Before I killed it too, it could have been making a noise, but it also kind of sounded like it was going, help, help. And I just fucking like murdered it.
Like the skin, the eyes are covered with a semi-transparent biosynthetic film.
He was reaching. I have a fucking gun. I have a taser. I just have a taser. I'm like, stay where you are. I fucking start pointing the gun at it. It's like,
that offers the same environmental protection while providing protection against certain wavelengths and light intensity. When the film is removed, a more traditional eye is revealed. It's about 3 times larger than a human eye, and there are no eyelids. In other words, the black eyes of the gray are just very large human-like eyes with a dark film cover to them, no different than how you or I would wear sunglasses. Interestingly, this may be seen in the video where we see what appears to be the whites of eyes being visible. Then again, this also could be snow. So the eyes of the alien are, in other words, noticeably large, but not comically so, as shown in the media. Now, humans naturally form caricatures of things in their mind, using things that most define a person. So, for instance, if you met a person with a large nose and were asked to visualize them later, you may imagine it as being comically large. Same with the ears, eyes, etc. We see this in cartoons all the time, being that we exaggerate bodily proportions. So perhaps, is this also true of gray aliens and their black eyes? Lastly, I want to bring up another detail that is easy to overlook. In the photographs, it appears that the head is being articulated and moved around, which would open up many implications. A body, especially a naked one, would begin to freeze solid after death within 6 hours due to the exposure to a winter in Quebec, meaning either this body was very freshly dead, or that if this was a hoax, they made an articulated dummy for what would only be photographs, which would make no sense. Now, this uploader closes out their account stating that a book on this mystery is now in the works. It is unknown the progress, or lack thereof, on this, given that the last comment from this channel was 5 years ago. Now, here's an interesting detail. This 2008 video isn't on the channel, but I confirmed it existed on the Wayback Machine. A screenshot of the channel was also posted by a Reddit user, Problem Kunde, in 2022 in r/SkinnyBob, discussing the gray alien similarity to the alleged footage of a gray dubbed Skinny Bob. In the screenshot of the channel, the video is there. But if you use the link to get to it, you get greeted with this. This video is no longer available due to
copyright claim.
To a copyright claim by AVI MOAS. Now, who is AVI MOAS? I don't know. I found only one copyright claim by them, and it was this video. I couldn't find a single thing about them. I wish I had more information to share with you, but that's where the trail ends. So, what is my perspective on this case? Well, there are so many unknowns here that it is almost impossible to verify anything. But then again, that's the world of ufology. You have to fundamentally read between the lines, because there's no map to guide you. Perhaps this really is just a very well-made prop.
The FBI? I don't know, bro. I just wish I could see a fucking alien before I die. That would be so cool.
For a student movie. Or perhaps this really was a 1 in a million scenario, and people really did stumble upon a fresh alien corpse. However, the idea that people would leave a child-sized corpse alone overnight,
sure you will, doubt it,
without contacting emergency services and going, whoops, is...
I don't personally believe aliens exist, or rather not made contact with us. One of their bodies were able to withstand the vacuum space to live on a planet without the atmosphere, so that when they make it on Earth, they're unable to withstand the atmosphere, and their ships weren't built for flying in oxygenated atmosphere. If their ships could withstand the vacuum of space, they would likely be able to withstand a oxygenated atmosphere. Their atmosphere on their planet would not necessarily be exactly the same, but they would live within one, because they would have a planet that would have to foster life in some sort of way. I think aliens exist. I think mostly all scientists agree that aliens exist, right? Alien life exists. Life is very common in the universe. Intelligent life is very rare, right? So when you say aliens, if you just mean like aliens like E.T., they may not exist. Huh? Life started a long time ago on Earth, like billions of years ago, right? Life is very common. It is easy for like single cell life to exist. Multicellular life into intelligent life is what's rare. That is unlikely. But to say that, like, anywhere in the effectively infinite universe, we're the only planet that has life, Common? No. Common in the sense of in our solar system, but common, yeah, no, not common. But in the sense of the universe, which is effectively infinite, yes, there is other alien life. Intelligent life, another question, right? Another argument.
It's quite a bit odd. And the inclusion of the petroglyph by the uploader at the end would imply that he or she has a pre-existing interest in ufology, potentially prior to coming into contact with these photographs. Or
what is this shit? Like, what is this? Is this like the aliens praising something?
Or if they are a hoax, it was a motivation to inspire and create the photographs and video. On the other hand, it does bear a striking resemblance to another case that I find to be genuinely very legitimate. But unfortunately, we can't stare at this case in a vacuum for 1,000 hours and deduce it to be a hoax or not. We're left to play detective here, and we have to interconnect what comes down to only maybes and find commonalities and consistencies between other cases, as
it's Paul. It's Paul from the movie.
Researchers do, as in fact any detective does. As new information comes out which we can compare it to, only then can we look back at it and affirm it as true or a work of fiction. Quite literally, only time will tell, and sometimes
I don't think time will tell whether or not that alien video is real or not. I think it really won't go anywhere else after that. I think this is probably the last we're going to hear about that specific video. Alien life, on the other hand, different story. Clearly the alien was killed by Sasquatch. This is what happens when you give Sprite to aliens. Why alien look like Travis Scott? You meet an alien, the first thing you do is just give it drugs. What its response would be. If an alien says, take me to your leader, who are you taking it to? You ain't taking it to the president, so who? Well, if it says, take me to your leader, I'm probably gonna just take it to, like, the governor. I don't know. If it says, take me to, like, your leader, fuck, man. I'm not bringing it to the president. I'm not bringing it to Trump. The FBI, I would probably bring it to, like a prominent scientist. The Pope. That's probably one of the last people I would bring an alien to. I think I would probably bring it to a non-religious figure. Bill Nye the Science Guy is a good pick. Hank Green. If I find an alien, I would bring it to Hank Green. That is who I would pick, and I would go from there. I don't know where Hank Green is. Not Mr. Beast. No, not Mr. Beast. I think I would try to bring it to Hank Green. Hank Green, Alex O'Connor, somebody smarter than me. Somebody, like, well above my intelligence that would probably just know what to do with it. I don't think I would give it to Kim Jong-un, no. So anybody? I'm saying somebody that's, like, you know, gonna know what to do with it. All right, chat. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to make our way back up. I'm just gonna butt scoot across the wall here. Maybe, on the way to get back up, we're gonna have to do like a Mario jump, you know, in the mini game, where he has to go like, oh. We're gonna have to like shimmy. It's gonna be like a Jason Statham scene. Fuck.
Oh, you gotta have some sure footing. Guess we're going down this one with the knots.
Yeah, I love how the one support system they have too is like the old rope that you have in your backyard from a tire swing from when you were 5. That's really weathered and also definitely somewhat dry rotted, right? Like this rope could break at any moment. See, that's a nice person. That's a nice person. Whoever that is, smart. You know? Hey, I'm going to draw an arrow for somebody.
Wow, it just keeps dropping.
I'd say.
just keeps going.
I say this every time we watch or talk about anything having to do with caving, but I never understand the first person that explored this, you know? Like, somebody laid this rope after already going down here previously. So, like, there was one guy that he was the first dude to explore this, and there was no map. Like, he was just kind of ballsy, you know, just trekking through a cave at random on a whim, just trying to figure out what the fuck's down here. Like, that guy's the dumbest of them all. The smartest in the sense of, like, marking his path, and he kind of, like, helps other cavers. But holy shit, dude, to be able to fucking go through a cave unmarked and just find your way in and out.
It keeps going.
Without falling to your fucking death. Or getting stuck.
Yeah, I'm like 70 foot down.
You're not fitting through that fucking hole. He's gonna go down that?
I think that's the bottom, about 20 foot down.
We're going to the bottom of the hole for what? Why are we going to the bottom of the hole? There's no water oasis. There's no fucking glow-in-the-dark cave. Hell, you're not even getting a fucking fiver, man. You're not getting a wet five at the bottom of this goddamn fucking cave. You're going down here. You're going to touch the bottom. You're going to go, oh, cool. It's really tight space. All right, let's go back up.
Well, I'm looking all right. This is bad.
Yeah, why did the rope have to stop halfway down?
I know, right? Oh, it's getting my chest. Oh, this isn't gonna be good.
No.
I think I'm gonna be hanging from my helmet.
We might not be able to get back up.
I think I'm gonna be hanging.
Oh, you might not be able to get back up. He says as 95% of his body is in the hole. Oh, dude, my helmet might get stuck. Yeah, you might not be able to get back up.
My helmet, dude.
Oh, well, if it...
Holy crap, if it didn't, I would have been hanging from
That goes so much deeper. I thought that was the fucking bottom right there.
my helmet.
No.
Oh my god, that goes so much deeper. He's gonna go down in that?
It drops like another 20, 30 feet.
Holy crap.
Okay, I'm getting off on this level.
Okay.
Huh.
Hey, was that a poop bucket?
A bucket. Oh. Dude, there's a...
Did somebody sleep here?
Dude, there's a bunch of clay sculptures in here. Yeah, there's military boxes.
Whoa. Low iron. Looks like he almost just fucking passed out.
And a rope that goes up.
And a Jesus shrine.
What?
Somebody brought a no parking anytime sign down here. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. This is fucking utter insanity. This guy, he went, I'm going to go caving. You know, I'm going to bring this sign. I'm going to steal this sign. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to post it up, maybe do a little clay sculpting while we're down here. Shit in a bucket. Set up a Jesus shrine. Work my way back up. Is this like a regular hangout for somebody?
Heck. We got some good artwork in here.
I mean, define good. That looks like a AA battery that's shoved on the back of a clay turtle.
A giant beetle is powered by
Oh, it's a beetle.
a battery over here.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice cobra and hot dog.
What?
A cobra and hot dog.
Oh, the cobra, yeah.
That is actually a pretty good cobra.
I took a picture of the cobra.
So is this like the end point for everybody exploring this cave? This is like this is like hardcore geocaching, where they take something and leave something.
What the heck?
What was that?
It's like a shrine. I know. And then a classic rope that goes up to who knows where. Wow. Oh, that's creepy. There's like a little figurine up there you're staring down at.
I gotta say, going with somebody else does make this a lot less scary. Like, being down there with somebody, if you're ever nervous, you're always like, okay, somebody else is here to navigate through with me. But if you're just full alone and it's dark, it would be so eerily quiet. Because it's not even, like, quiet like you're outside. It's quiet like you're in a room that, dude, you're underground. So there's no ambient noise.
Legend.
Oh, God, there's a fucking notebook. What do you think they're leaving for each other? Funny drawings.
Old legend.
From 2024, Hawk 2! Hawk 2 in a cave!
It was destroyed. 2024, they started this one. Alright, it's just a bunch of people who signed this. Hey, I'm from Japan.
I'm from Japan. Oh my God, this hole.
OMG, this hole. Look, we got this random guy a shout out here. My name is Mike Ecstasy. Welcome to Hell.
Mike Ecstasy. Mike Ecstasy sounds like a guy you'd meet at a bar. He'd offer you a drug that you've never seen in your life before, and then you just never see him again. Mike Ecstasy seems like a guy straight out of the Hangover movie. He's a DJ for sure. Yeah, he's a local fraternity DJ. Mike Ecstasy. Welcome to the hellhole. Oh, we got a little shout out for his music.
At 808 MXTC. I produce and make music.
We got.
I'm like hoping it's techno. Oh my God, this is exactly what I thought Mike Ecstasy would look like. Just a bro. It's actually a pretty good fucking beat. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, what is this guy saying? They're spreading healing frequencies out to the world. That's Mike Ecstasy. Dude, you're all over the place.
Yeah, they got mad at that shit. You might imagine the whole book's just Mike Ecstasy shout out.
Yeah, dude, you're all over the place. Get out of here, Mike.
Oh my God, I actually fucking love these cavers. Stop.
We think that rope just went right back up to where we came from, so we're going deeper. Oh no, there's nothing down here.
Wait, what was that green thing? What is that?
It's just a creepy doll.
Oh, that is so weird. Let me see the doll.
It's like a Buddha shrine looking thing.
Oh, okay.
Yo, on the back of it, it's probably going to say something about Mike Ecstasy. Congratulations, you found my shrine.
The wall.
Make sure to tune into my sick beats.
What'd you see down there? I think it's official, man. The cave ends in a Buddha shrine. That's the bottom of the cave. Yeah. And man, he is grinning. He's grinning? Yeah. Got a couple people praying over here.
Are they getting the clay from in the cave? Like, where are they using this stuff to make these sculptures?
Sounded weird and creepy. Oh, that is weird.
It's so weird.
Why is it so weird? It's like praying, or no, there's just meditating people here. Meditating snowmen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I officially know where we're going again, but we're gonna leave this headlamp here because a subscriber left a comment on one of our videos, and he said he got stuck down here with no headlamp and literally just waited, and his friend finally found him down there. But this is gonna be there.
Yo, getting stuck down there with no flashlight would be horrible. It would be pitch black. Like, you wouldn't even be able to move.
Whoever finds it, it's yours. All right, I'm climbing that.
You'd shit yourself, bro. You'd have to be. You literally, if you only had your headlamp and like no iPhone, no other phone light, and that was the only means you had to come down and up, and you make it to the bottom, and then your headlamp dies, you're either A, waiting for somebody to come get you, or you're dead. Like, that's the only options. Like, you wouldn't be able to traverse this cave in the dark. Because it would literally be pitch black. Yeah, just full trusting the fucking strength of these ropes.
I don't know if this is the way to go or not.
Oh no. Stop.
You see something?
Yeah. Oh wait, I think this is a wall sign. Shout out to Mike X.
Okay.
Oh, it's just another shout out. Yo, imagine they're like, dude, we're lost. Where are we? Out of nowhere, they hear do 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 do. Mike.
Oh, this is the tight part. Dude, I see daylight. What? Yeah.
Where the fuck do you see daylight? Oh my god, it is daylight. Oh my god, dude, you have no idea how happy I'd be to get the fuck out of there. Like, if you were somehow like forced to do this.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Bro, they went in the evening too. It's almost nighttime outside. That seems horrible. What other videos does this person make? Action Adventure Twins. Oh, they're twins. Scuba diving giant marble mine goes wrong. She found him living in a huge cave on her land. Oh my god. What's their most popular video? High anxiety inside Petty John's cave. Look at that fucking thumbnail. Wow. Dropping GoPro down down a deep mystery pipe. Do not watch if you're claustrophobic. We'll fast forward through a little bit. I'm not watching the whole 22-minute video. Yeah, no. Dude, your shoes, your feet standing vertically don't fit, so you have to fucking bend them to the side so you can shimmy through. That should be the measurement guide. If you got to be fucking sifting through the cave like this with your feet out to the side, like you're fucking, like you're in a ballet pose.
Oh, it helps to let your breath
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is the part.
It's got to be like the video though, because I don't even think my head would fit in this part.
Gotta exhale.
The old exhale trick. Lower the diaphragm. What's the most... Oh, this is the most replayed part. The fuck was that? A stalagmite?
We're here at this crazy low passage. And...
Dude, it's so... What a payoff, man. Look at this view. Look at this view. It took us 6 hours to get down here. It smells like urine.
This crazy low passage. And Tim the Beast is gonna sit in this flooded passage. There ain't much room for anything in here.
Oh my god, wait, there's a note on this wall. Mike Ecstasy.
That's cold, isn't it?
God, it's been everywhere we have.
The hands and knees crawl.
Oh yeah, there's a... See, no, this cave's kind of cooler though, because it opens up like so much to where you can kind of just freely walk around. That I get. Like trying to like push through so you could get to some big payout versus just being at the bottom of some pit. All right. We're going to call that there, though, chat. We might watch more of those. Why aren't actors ugly anymore?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And I got to say, Bill Murray is an unconventionally attractive man. Before we get into why aren't actors ugly anymore, I'm going to do a bit of Bill Murray glaze here. I don't think Bill Murray's ugly. I think Bill Murray is a black pill 4, right? Sub 5. But I think... the way he puts himself on is like an 8. You know who's really attractive? And I always glaze this guy. From the Fallout show, Walton Goggins. I think Walton Goggins is one of the few men that can rock the horrible hairline. And he is also, I think Walton Goggins is like a 9. Like, Walton Goggins is a very attractive man, but he's unconventionally attractive. He has a very bad hairline, and he doesn't really, I think it's like his facial symmetry is very nice. He's a good bone structure. Now I'm glazing.
This is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age...
Facial surgery and Botox. Large-scale facial surgery from the Hollywood's greatest to try and keep themselves looking the same that they did in their 20s, to where when they're like 50, they start looking like dolls. And it's scary. Like, I love a man in Hollywood that owns the wrinkles, you know? Like, owns the wrinkles. There's a lot of older women in Hollywood that do it. And I think a lot of women in Hollywood don't go overboard. I think a lot of women in Hollywood get, like, base Botox to kind of, like, get rid of, like, the crow's feet. But, like, I'm never going to judge what people want to do with their face. And this is kind of me, it's sounding like I'm judging. But, like, Ryan Gosling does a lot. He has a lot of, I don't know if this image is edited. But, like, his face is more puffy from what he's done. You know, like, I still think he looks great, but it's like there becomes a point where it's like, okay, you look like a 50-year-old that's making themselves try to look 30 versus, like, I think you can look great as an aging man or woman, right? Who's like an older actor that doesn't do Botox or like facial surgery stuff? Like, maybe like Ashton Kutcher, but he's also not that old. Jack Black. Jack Black was never... I'm more talking about, like, guys that were considerable heartthrobs, you know? Like, people that were, like, you know, praised for their attractiveness. Whereas, like, Jack Black, I think he's obviously great-looking man. Stunning. Stunning. Has cheetah eyes. But, you know, he was never praised for his attractiveness. He was praised for his acting abilities, his singing... how, like, cool he was. William Dafoe. Yeah. William Dafoe does it well, too. Yeah. Like, I think he looks good. I know he's old, but he looks like, it's like, I fuck with that, you know? Like, dude, that was, like, the uncanny shit was that Dunkin' commercial. Can we watch that real quick? And then we'll get back into it. Like, I know they CGI de-aged everybody, but it was fucking creepy. But, like, they made all of them, oh, my God, like, Joey, what is his name? Not Joey Tribbiani. Well, that's who he plays, but I always forget his actor's name. Dude, that's creepy. No, the worst one is Jennifer Aniston. They make Jennifer Aniston look scary. When she shows up, bro. Like, she looks like a doll. The way they CGI her face. Oh my God. It's just, I think that's one of the reasons why actors aren't ugly anymore. But, like, it's also just this obsession with looks on social media, especially short form media now, where I think a lot of people that get opportunities, it's like the foot in the door is no longer the acting ability, it's the look. I think Hollywood is so much more now about, like, we want a guy that's going to look good, right? But it gets unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, now we have, like, Timothée Chalamet. I'm not saying he has this, but, like, Timothée Chalamet did Marty Supreme. I think he did a great job. You know, blah, blah, blah. The promotion was awesome, right? But, like, you could have, like, Timothée Chalamet playing a regular New York taxi driver. Totally unrealistic. Totally unrealistic. Let's get a guy that actually looks like a fucking New York City taxi driver, okay? Let's get a regular guy off the street and fucking cast him. Why are we trying to make people... Why are we fitting these, like, 10 out of 10 actors... in terms of attractiveness to, like, just, like, an average role. We're like, yeah, this guy's definitely going to just be flipping bergs. No.
Today don't look like this anymore.
I lost my hand!
They look like this. Or like this. Actors today...
Yeah, 35? What the fuck?
today need to have great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular people anymore, they look like supermodels. This isn't every single actor.
No, they look like supermodels, and then there's like this weird diverging role, right? It's like older movies from like 2010 and before. You had people that were really attractive. You had the average looking guy or woman. And then you have like people that get cast in ugly roles, right? Like they did it a lot in Disney. They did a lot in Nickelodeon. They do it a lot in like comedy movies where like they literally cast somebody to be the ugly guy. Now it's like really attractive people, average extras, and then ugly people as roles. I always wonder that too. I'm like, that sucks to be cast as like the fat guy in a role. I always wonder if that upsets them, you know? Because there's so many movies where it's like they literally cast you as the ugly fat guy. But that's your role. Like, you're not a main character. You're just like a side scene for 5 minutes where it's like, oh, look how ugly and fat this guy is. And then they move on.
But it's clear there's been an overall change in how A-list performers look. And it's also how they're shown to the camera, like in low lighting and with more vibrant colours. They're surrounded by other people, and on an actual set, rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control, situation normal.
You're probably going to say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything in modern movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
As my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
I feel like maybe, do you think that it's also just the lack of average looking people getting into acting? Because all the people that I know now in social media and just also in my life that get into acting are like 8 out of 10 or higher. I think like so many people that love theater and want to get into acting are like shunned at a young age because they don't fit like this beauty standard, even if the skills are there.
Okay, so the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify.
Yeah, no, I don't think ugly. It's like the people in Hollywood don't look real. Like, am I crazy to say there's an uncanny level of attractiveness where somebody is so good looking that it's actually a turnoff? Like, you don't look real. It's that good. And it's like, okay, no, like you look like a doll, like actually like a doll. Like they've sculpted you.
Or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that theoretically belong to a normal person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking down the street.
I need a man who has powerful friends.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad-looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in today's
you would walk past them on the street and not bat an eye.
Stars.
Saw it on the television.
And I love that because I think that brings you into the movie, you know? When it's just like a regular handyman that becomes this agent or something, and he's like a 10 out of 10. I'm like, bro, the average roofer that I hire to do a job is not going to look like fucking Brad Pitt, right? He's going to be a big gut, blue-collar man that's going to fucking staple some paddings to my roof, you know? He's going to look like an everyday guy I walk past on the street.
Big part of this is that today, people just generally look younger.
Physical. Clean.
Hey. I think people look younger. I think people get work to look younger. And I also think the average person today is better looking too. Can I say that? I think like every generation looks better than the generation before it. Maybe that's also a fashion thing. Like if I look back at like pictures of 30-year-olds in the 1950s, they look weird to me because they're wearing like fucking clothing that isn't in style anymore. Isn't that the point of evolution? Yeah, like natural selection to a degree. But I also think people are better at holding themselves and like, you know, making themselves look the best that their potential enables them to.
26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes into this in more detail. Essentially,
we watched that. That was a really good video too. What, that people look older?
In more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed, and combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
I guess I started smoking when I was about 4.
Healthier is a debatable question.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in action.
My mom was already dead then from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44 here. Actors in their mid-40s today look like this.
Are we soulmates?
Or like this.
And that's nuts, man. Like, I know for a fact in my mid-40s, I'm not going to look like that. I'm going to look so much worse. Like, it is unreal, dude. He looks 32. Like, how old would you say, genuinely speaking, chat, how old do you say Chris Evans looks there? 34 tops. Mid-young 30s.
Or like this.
Not 39.
There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slap.
Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he first shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothée Chalamet at 29.
Young pup!
But they play very different types of characters. If we want to be fair, let's compare two all-American action stars.
Drop it, dickhead.
Glenn Powell, 35 in Twisters, and Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard.
Bro, Glenn Powell will still play the young love interest in like a 2026 rom-com. They were not casting 35-year-olds to do that 20 years ago.
Robert Pattinson was 35 when he played Batman, and Michael Keaton was only 2 years older.
Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
But Keaton has visible lines around his mouth, his hair has receded a bit, and he has a subtle 5 o'clock shadow that doesn't feel purposeful. But Pattinson, even though dressed up to look sleep-deprived and reclusive, has a chiseled jaw and perfect skin. Overall, he looks a lot younger.
That's interesting.
But there's something more at play than actors simply looking older in the past.
Frank, they're not here for you.
Do you think it's the makeup too? They still were doing crazy makeup in the 90s. Like, that can't be what it is. They're not making them look younger in the film.
It's the kind of faces that have changed too.
Weird Al Yankovic is on the plane.
It's the everyman look, receding curly hair or imperfect skin. And it's because of these distinct features that characters had a stronger sense of personality just by looking at them.
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
But before we continue, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor.
Dude, I gotta rewatch all the Ghostbusters films. I think that it's ugly people trying to get into acting and then they never make it because they look bad. But they don't look bad. It's like there's so many roles in acting that need to be filled, right? There's so many people going into acting. It's like this bottleneck effect where there's like, 10 roles but 100 people applying. But even then, it's not like, oh, it's because they don't fit the bill. Like, there's so many average people that need to get cast for roles, but it's just like they're picking like 10s now for fucking main characters.
In the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, we meet 3 characters who don't survive the end of the scene. But they all have an interesting look. Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy is going to behave differently to this guy. And then compare them to the station manager. We can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say this is down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
Yeah, like he just looks like a disheveled old man. Like this guy looks like some dude you would see on the side of the road in New York City.
It'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
You're all grateful.
Wow, I love like the YouTuber breakdowns that these guys, or not the cinephile breakdowns that these YouTubers do. Like, I love these analyst movies. I never think, because it's like such subconscious shit that you don't even think about till they bring it up. Where it's like, wow, the mob bosses really are very similar, but like the mustache and the slick back hair is different. A cinephile, that's somebody that loves movies.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
We're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters. Even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen, and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition. Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look. And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, he looks better. It's like, how does Hugh Jackman in his 20s look more average than now?
So what is the effect of this? What is the
fucking ripped six-pack? Looks like he's on steroids.
Effect of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathize with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Well, because the average person that's watching a movie that wants to relate to the main character isn't going to... Like, I get you casting fucking Chris Evans and Hemsworth for Thor and Captain America. They're fucking superheroes. They're not supposed to be everyday people. Thor is a god, right? But, like, when you have a regular taxi driver playing a role in a movie, you want that guy to be relatable, and the average person watching the movie isn't going to relate to a guy that's a 10.
In Star Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people, whereas Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
Fear will keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th century, the pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses.
I got it, go ahead.
Big foreheads.
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
Heavy-set eyes.
Did you know that?
And receding hairlines.
But you and me together, that'd be tops.
We subconsciously infer things about people's personality based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture my dog.
In Taxi Driver.
But I think they do so, like, there's still TV shows. I think movies, it's gone away, but TV shows, they still have it. Always Sunny in Philadelphia isn't even filmed in Philly, but it still gives that Philly vibe. They look like regular-ass white people that live in Philly. Danny DeVito is like Danny DeVito, like, sometimes they make him seem like a goblin, bro. He'll be naked crawling out of a fucking couch covered in oil. Like, I know that's part of the comedy, but it's like, they're not, like, imagine if Always Sunny in Philly was just like Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt as the old guy, and then, you know, Olivia Rodrigo. You'd be like, okay, well, these aren't regular fucking Philly actors. There's shows where they actually make fun of that. Like, I Love LA. They make fun of LA culture. They look like LA people. They might live in LA, but, like, they cast people that, like, fit this LA role, and it makes fun of that. So I love that show. I don't watch it all the time. I'll watch it with Brooke when she's watching it, but it's a good fucking show. But even back then, they had people that didn't. It's so weird because I think on average, movies in general do cast higher attractive roles. But, like, dude, the cast of Friends, all attractive. All of them. Maybe Ross is, like, unconventionally attractive. But, like, Phoebe, Monica, and Rachel are all 9s, 10s, right? Very pretty. Joey Tribbiani, attractive guy. Chandler, attractive guy, right? Ross, I would say maybe unconventionally attractive, but he also was signed for that role. It makes sense, right? Like, Ross is still a good-looking dude. It's like all of them were 10s, almost. Chandler, I think Chandler was a good-looking guy. obviously he was dealing with, like, you know, problems where he was fluctuating in weight and, like, he looked different depending on the scene. But I think overall he still looked good.
This guy, completely bald on top but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round glasses. And even De Niro himself with his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If you got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion. In 1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed, he's just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small...
Yeah, bro, they make him look too good. I'm like, this is, bro, Paddy Pimblett in that UFC fight where he didn't get knocked out, but he got his head fucked up so bad that he literally looked like a pumpkin. His face was swelling so much. Like, get the hell out of here. I'm supposed to watch Creed and be like, oh, dude, his face is a little scuffed and he's getting killed this fight, but it'll be all right.
Bruise around one eye.
Like, I need to see one eye swollen. Stop! Like, that would put you on the floor. Bro, your face would be so fucked if you got knocked like that.
Stop! It's me!
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty, and sweaty face. And
that's one thing I'll say about Spider-Man. People get upset with me. I think the first Spider-Man is the worst Spider-Man. I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is better than Tobey Maguire's. But I think Tobey Maguire fits the Spider-Man look the best out of any of them. I love Tom Holland the most. I actually think Andrew Garfield second, Tobey Maguire third, off of acting. But when you think of, like, everyday New Yorker, kind of a nerd, you know, a dweeb, getting these powers and then becoming a superhero, I'm not thinking of Tom Holland. And I'm not thinking of Andrew Garfield. I'm thinking of Toby McChud, you know, Chud Maguire, you know. That's the guy that fits the bill, you know. Looks like an everyday dude, gets powers, becomes some superhero god, has that really cringy scene where they slick his hair back when he's Venom and he's like, I hate that scene, by the way. That's the worst. Like that, whenever I see that scene, it's right below the Happy Birthday song in Breaking Bad.
His chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
Hey, Blondie? Water?
After Clint Eastwood walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize him. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time. It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken...
That movie was so fucking bad. That movie was so fucking bad. Jurassic World, love Scarlett Johansson. My God, this movie was terrible. Every scene, she's like, well, I'm a co-op expert. That's why they hired me. I'm a co-op expert. What the fuck do you have to do? I'm a co-op expert. Okay, so we're bringing you to go extract dinosaur blood? You worked in the military and, like, covert shit. What the hell does that have to do with going to stab a T-Rex? Okay? You have your skill transfer. That's like you being a pro in Rocket League and being like, I'm a Rocket League pro. And we're in fucking Vietnam. And we're in Vietnam. You know, we're loading artillery, and you're like, don't worry, I was SSL. That means about jack shit to me. What the fuck does that have to do with this?
It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place, and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny...
The worst that I despise is movie scenes where they're, like, so fucked. They've been surviving in the wilderness. They, you know, fighting limb to limb to survive. And then you see their teeth, pearly white. They've been in the jungle for 6 months. And they fuck up their face and they make them look, you know, all messed up. And then they're like, and you see the glare off their teeth. I'm like, yo. It's not like why we can't tint their teeth yellow to make this look more real.
Cut. And they look great, but when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale.
Well, see, no, that scene's different because that's just Vin Diesel, right? That's Dom Toretto. Vin Diesel after plunging a burning car into dirty water. It's Dom Toretto.
And they look great.
Dom Toretto's fucking a badass.
But when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale. And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them. In an article from
That's what I was saying.
2021, Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to become an investment in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no—
Oh my god, what is that thing called where it's supposed to give you a better jaw? Bro, just like chew gum. I never understand that shit. Jawzercise, I think is the name of the product.
Features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Let's take hairlines as an example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant!
This just wasn't the case in the past, hence a wider spectrum of hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are—
But it's when they're playing a role. I think you want a smaller forehead when the main character is 40 or below. But if you're a main character in your 50s as a guy, having a perfect hairline is almost off-putting. Because the average man in his 50s is going to either be bald or have a receding hairline. Like, without a doubt.
Commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said. I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
It's so annoying and just plain boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking—
Okay, well, the Barbie movie is a bad example because Margot Robbie is supposed to look uncannily perfect. Like, I was gonna mention the Barbie movie where she's supposed to look perfect, right?
Different and interested.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974 movie Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
calling Pelham 1, 2, 3.
They said it's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face, and they all look normal, like no veneers in sight.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty-looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal-ass people in your movie make—
I have been complaining about the fact that— oh wow, this guy plays the serial killer in Dexter. Anyways, sorry. I don't even know this guy's name, but I just recognize the face. I've been ranting about how I don't like that the new actors, like Gen Z actors, it's like there's like 5 of them. there's like 5 of them. Whenever you see a big new movie coming out, it's never like a random actor playing the main role. It's always somebody that's like super famous. And I think it's this idea, too, from Hollywood that, like, what gets ticket sales is mainstream actors. And it's true to a degree that, like, if you see a movie that's coming out and it has a famous actor in it, you're more likely to go see it. You know, like, if Jacob Elordi, is in a movie, you're going to be like, well, I kind of want to go see that. But if Jacob Elordi's not in the film and it's just, like, some random guy that isn't that super attractive— or woman for that matter, it's like, you know, it's the same thing. The level of popular actors is like, it's a smaller pool now.
Makes it feel more realistic. To which someone replied, convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey. Which brings us on to perhaps a good label to put on this kind of perfect looking A-lister we see today. iPhone face. It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century. And this speaks to a kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal...
And it doesn't bring... The immersion's not there. Like, I want to see some shit where, you know, their couch is fucked up. Like, you're supposed to be this, like, struggling artist in this film, and you're playing, like, somebody that's broke. Meanwhile, yeah, your apartment's small, but you have, like, a brand new couch, and your carpet's perfectly clean, and you have no crumbs on the floor. There's no, like, weird marks on the walls, you know? Like, every regular room for somebody, you're going to have, like, a scratch or a hole in the wall. Like, why don't they have that? Method acting? Well, not even method acting for the actor. I'm more saying, like, the sets just suck.
Or the dirt kicked up from horses, the colour of the set, and the way it's lit. We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look.
Hello?
Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people.
Oh, that movie was so fucking stupid. Oh my god, no, I'm gonna get so mad if... Dude, every time he shows that Jurassic Park movie. Where if you don't know, there's like this... They're going... Okay. So, in the Jurassic Park movie, the new one, dinosaurs exist, but they only can live at the equator, and you're not allowed to go to the equator. This stupid fucking family is driving a boat through the equator, and they get capsized by a dinosaur. Shocker. They all freak out. The boyfriend's a dick, blah, blah, blah. They end up getting picked up by Scarlett Johansson and her crew, which is trying to extract dinosaur blood to, like, cure cancer. That's the plot. Right, like, it's trying to, like, cure cancer, extend people's lifetimes. It's gonna, like, make people immortal or some shit, right? And you're just sitting here like, oh, okay. They don't even explain why. And they get on this boat. They end up getting separated. And the family is, like, struggling to survive in this area. And they're like, none of them die, by the way. Spoiler. Which is, like, so stupid. Because, you know, this is, like, a family of 5 that has no survival expertise. And they just get lucky at every corner. It's just, like, full plot armor. And while they're all, like, struggling for their life and, like, running from these crazy dinosaurs, one of their daughter, like, befriends this tiny dinosaur. And I'm like, dude, she would be terrified of that motherfucker. Their boat got capsized by a dinosaur. She's never seen dinosaurs in real life like this. They land on this island. They're getting chased by dinosaurs. And she sees this baby dinosaur that's, like, cute or whatever. And she's like, aw. I'm like, oh, hell no. She would not, like, walk up to that thing. Dude, everybody would be traumatic. I would be scared to walk up to anything that was moving.
People in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general, look, is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect. And this is a problem.
It's worse than Hubie Halloween. No, Hubie Halloween is a bottom 3 film. I love Adam Sandler. I think that when he plays that role where he does that, like, ooh, I don't know. I just have some soup in a bowl. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. That's, like, so fun. It's so annoying. And it's like he's not playing the role well. It's like he has, like, 5 characters, and one of them's, like, a quirky, weird guy that he plays. And he does the same thing in Waterboy. And it's like, oh my God. And no, it's just, dude, it's so, I can't get over it. And there's Adam Sandler movies that I love. I just think that those movies are unbearable. Actually, no, Jack and Jill's worse than Hubie Halloween. Jack and Jill was the worst movie that he's ever made. I gotta piss again, and we're gonna hop into the next movie. FBI agent infiltrated the KKK. Lock in.
If there's any snitches in the group, we kill the snitches and they fire shots out of a gun. Boom, boom, and everybody's kind of getting scared.
April 21, 2017. A group of men stand in a remote field in the...
The KKK is still fucking up and running that strongly in 2017. I feel like a lot of the videos that we've seen about the KKK recently have been kind of showing that it seems more like just a group of racists versus people that actually try to do stuff. Still is now? No, I know they exist, but I'm saying like 60 years ago, you know, they were killing people. Now I feel like it's just like a gathering of racists.
Middle of Alabama.
I don't know, though. This video is about to explain this to me.
It was nighttime, and I am blindfolded. I've been instructed to place my right hand on the right shoulder of the person in front of me in line because that signifies brotherhood.
The Brotherhood is the Ku Klux Klan, the United States' oldest, most notorious white supremacist hate group. This is one of their ceremonies. What they don't know, one of them is an FBI undercover agent, and he's no lightweight, 6'4", 260 pounds, covered in tattoos. His nickname, Hillbilly Donnie Brasco. He's gone undercover as a contract killer, a contraband smuggler, an arms dealer. He's put dozens...
Oh, do they work kind of like a biker gang in the sense of they still perform illegal... like they sell drugs and do like that to make money? Then who the fuck is that one guy that's the leader of the KKK that's in like Alabama and he just he does videos with like Gideon? Like, is that a different dude? That's that guy? There's no way that's the dude that's the leader. I mean, this is 2025 versus 2017, but Arkansas, not Alabama? Okay.
Dozens of people behind bars, from drug dealers to violent motorcycle gangs to pedophiles. He's befriended and brought down biker gangs and neo-Nazis, people who are planning kidnappings, murders, and the overall downfall of society.
My God.
And when he was saying we're going on a camping trip, what he was saying is we're going to kill somebody. And everybody's screaming, death to your, F your Jewish God, death to America. And then somebody says, America, and everybody's screaming, death to your, F your Jewish God, death to America. And
isn't the Ku Klux Klan a Christian, like, Aryan racial group? Like, wouldn't saying F your Jewish God effectively be saying F themselves? I don't think so. I thought it was a Christian group. They're Satanists. You realize the start of Satanism also isn't worshiping Satan. Satanism generally started as kind of the denial of religion in general. Also, what the fuck is on my head? I feel like I have a hive on my head right now. You see that shit? Yes, various Ku Klux Klan groups have historically and presently identified themselves as Christian organizations, specifically white Protestant Christians. Widely condemned by other Christian scholars, pastors, and theologians. Yeah, but it's like saying F your Jewish God is like, they all believe in the same God.
And then somebody says, if there's any snitches in the group, we kill the snitches and they fire shots out of a gun. Boom, boom.
We drove all the way over to his ranch in Tennessee, and he told us everything. This is the story of Scott Payne, the redneck turned FBI agent who infiltrated America's underbelly.
I would be so fucking nervous, chat. Oh my God. Imagine not even just being in the KKK. Like, imagine having to infiltrate a gang or like a mafia or a biker gang. Like, and you're knowingly becoming friends. You're not friends with them, but you have to portray that you're becoming friends with them. Like, you're getting close with these people, and they think that you're just in for the vibes. You know, they're like, yeah, no, you're one of us. No, you're a double agent. You're a double agent, but you're like, they have no fucking clue. And if they find out, they'll fucking kill you. How scary that is. Oh, dude, I could tell this is going to be a banger video. I'm assuming that if you're an FBI undercover agent, doing illegal activities with them is like null and void, right? Because to prove your I guess, loyalty, you would probably have to run drugs and do illegal crime. Because there's no way you could be an undercover agent and not partake in the illegal activities. Yeah, outside of killing people.
The majority of this video is based on Scott Payne's book and podcast. Find the links in the description.
What I saw was a watery image. It was completely red, and there was a demon looking at me in that watery kind of ripple image with a grin and long crooked finger looking at me saying, "Come here," smiling.
Scott is 14 years old, and he's just seen a demon. The year before, his parents divorced, and Scott went down a dark path, consulting spirits, watching diabolical horror movies, satanic rituals, deals with the devil. That's what brought him here, a friend's house, spending the night. They've had a small amount of alcohol, but no drugs, no hallucinogens.
I would do like these little vignettes where I would pretend I was being possessed by a demon or I was the devil or whatever. I was on the couch and I was doing this scene from a movie where somebody is like being possessed by a demon. And so I'm fighting in my voice, and then the demon voice comes in and there's this battle. And at the end, the demon wins and possesses the person. So that's what I act like happened. And I'm laughing like the demon, and I rolled over.
It all started as a mock demonic possession, but then he actually saw a demonic figure. And this was his breaking point.
So let's just say after the demon scare, I got Jesus scared back into me, and that was it. Not that the devil was done with me, but I was done with him.
Halloween night 2019. This is...
I've never heard of somebody faking being possessed. Okay, well, I think most possessions are fake. Like when you see the exorcisms that occur in like modern day videos where there's like pastors that they're not they're I would say they're more internet pastors in the effect of like they try to take online donations and they do like exorcisms on like random people and they'll claim to be the devil but have 3 fucking 120-pound weak guys holding them back. Like those are a little sketchy to me.
Scott on his final major undercover mission. And this is a goat. It was stolen and is now at the center of a pagan ritual. It's been nearly 35...
Chat, should I scratch this? What is that? Is that a big hive on my head? Roos's for the three. It's a zit? No, dude, it's a spider bite. It fucking itches. I'm gonna leave it. I want to scratch it so bad. Like when you have eczema. Stop.
5 years since Scott's first encounter with the devil. But on this night, the devil is all around him. And he's definitely not done with Scott.
Now, we're all in a circle around the goat. Somehow I ended up at the back of it. I don't know how. It's bad luck on my part, I guess, but I'm holding the legs of the goat. He's got this blade, and he's bringing it up and bringing it down in a practice swing, practice swing, practice swing. And finally, somebody says, just do it. Eisen comes down with every bit of force he's got and hits the back strap of the goat, and I don't even know if it broke a hair. I don't know if it's because the back strap's too thick, the blade was too dull, but he hit it, and
I don't think you could clean slice a goat's head off with a machete. Maybe a really fucking sharp one. I feel like if you were trying to chop like a goat's head off, you'd need like an axe.
You heard the goat was just go bah, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna get bloody and bad real fast.
The man swings again. Again. Nothing. Finally, the blade is replaced with a gun.
I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's like, what? I'm like, man, look at what you're shooting at. We're all in a circle around this thing. And then he looks, puts a round right in the head of the goat, and it hits the ground. So you think you're done? No, you're not done. Now they slice the throat of the goat.
Oh, God, don't tell me they got to drink the blood or some bullshit. Oh, fuck.
And they fill up a cup full of blood.
One of them pulls out a sheet of LSD.
What? Oh, my God. They're trying to perform a satanic ritual, and then they're going to take acid and drink the blood. Oh, my God. Literally doomed permatrip. Doomed permatrip. What the fuck? You're not getting out of that the same dude you were when you came in.
He approaches each man one by one.
Basically, they would take the hit of acid under their tongue, chase it with the blood of the goat,
I am always curious about how, like, undercover FBI agents don't give themselves away when they're doing that stuff. Like, if he has to, well, I don't know if this is a part of it yet, but, like, say you're undercover and they're like, hey, you got to do this drug with us. Like, how do you keep that facade of, like, I'm Donnie Blank when your actual name's, like, Derek Roberts, and now you're fucking hallucinating, you're tripping balls, and you're having, like, regular conversation.
To signify the sacrifice or solidify the sacrifice.
Very well mentally trained. Bro, I understand the level of mental training, but I truly believe, like, any level of mental training is, like, unless they're doing the mental training under hallucinogens, that shit's cracking you, bro. When you're tripping, you're under a different mindset. When you're tripping that hard, if you're on, like, 1-2 grams of mushrooms, that's different. But if you're, like, tripping balls, I don't care, like, any level of training you have, bro. You're not, like, you're going to say anything.
Scott is one of the few who decline.
So when it gets around to me,
he says no?
At the end, I'm looking at the blood and it's already coagulated. It's all chunky and clotty, and I'm looking at it going, man, I really don't want to turn this up and drink it. I mean, this is disgusting. So I dipped my fingers deep into the blood, pulled them out, and then sucked all the blood off my fingers.
This is not the Ku Klux Klan. This group is younger, better equipped, and preparing for a bloodbath. And not only animal blood, but the blood of any human who isn't one of them. Jewish and Black Americans, and anyone they consider traitors to the white race. They're by far the most dangerous group Scott will ever infiltrate. Unfortunately for these tripping blood-drinking white supremacists, Scott Payne has other plans. It's exactly the kind of thing—
God, can I say I find it shocking that you could trip and still hold resentment towards groups of people. I have hallucinated 10 times, or around 10 times. Like I've tripped like 10 times. And I've had bad trips and I've had good trips. Never once have I been equally or more resentful for anybody. Like, I feel like every time you come out of there and you're like, man, people all have their own problems. People are going through their own shit. I got to be more kind. I feel like every time I get out of that, I'm like, I got to be a better person. I'm never like tripping and then going, yeah, white people are the solution. What?
He spent the last 17 years working to prevent.
I became an FBI agent in 1998, and by 2002, I'd already done some undercovers for the FBI.
It's like echo chambers. Yeah, I think it is the people you're surrounding too. I mean, it is set and setting, right? And if your set and setting is right before taking that acid, chopping a goat's head off, sucking the blood out, and then talking about how you only like white people.
But I wasn't yet certified through the FBI undercover school. So I finally got a slot.
September 2002, Quantico, Virginia. This is the FBI Academy. If you make it through the year-long application process, if you pass the physical and psychological assessments, the tests, the polygraphs, the interviews, the background checks, if you make it through all that, you end up here, in a 20-week training program. If you get through the 20 weeks, you become an FBI agent. Scott's been here before. Now he's back, about to start the training program for undercover agents. Getting admission to the program is hard enough. Graduating is even harder. Only about half the admittees make it through.
It's a 2-week school with no days off. We're very big on sleep deprivation. You're going through multiple scenarios of all shapes and sizes. And there's only 20 slots for the class.
Others break down.
There's 20 slots for the class, but don't you think they also would like hand select people that are diverse for the purpose of being able to infiltrate different scenarios, right? Like you would want specific types of people for specific scenarios. Like you wouldn't want everybody to be the same.
They make missteps during the high-pressure scenarios. They grow delirious and erratic from the lack of sleep. But Scott thrives. The sleep deprivation, the relentless role play, the grueling exercise. If anything, he
don't tell me he enjoys it.
Feeds on it.
Oh.
Meanwhile, he's learning from his idols, legendary FBI agents like Joe Pistone.
God, that's like a different type of dude, bro. To be able to be happy that you're not sleeping for fucking 2 weeks. You're not sleeping for 2 weeks, constantly doing physical and mental activities.
Spent 6 years undercover with the Bun-On-No Crime family. But they don't always notice him.
So I remember Joe Pistone coming to speak, and I was like a kid in a candy store, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Donnie Brasco. This dude did 6 years undercover in the mafia. And he's teaching, but he has this thing where he keeps kind of wanting to.
6 years undercover in the mafia, bro. 6 years. Do you think there's ever a scenario where they, like, don't want to fucking crack down on some of these guys? I feel like it's different when it's, like, the KKK because it's just, like, a full-on fucking hate racist group. But, like, I feel like if you're undercover in the mafia for 6 years, there's got to be, like, 1 or 2 dudes where you're like, damn, I feel like this guy's not, he's just, like, you know, bad place, bad time. Like, he grew up around the wrong people. He's not a bad dude. But you got to, like, you got to fucking, you know, I not rat on him, but at some point, you got to fucking turn him in.
Walk right up to the desk. So he kept stepping on my feet. And, I was trying to get out of his way. And then finally, as he's teaching, he just looks down at me and he says, Jesus, kid, either you got the biggest feet I've ever seen or I can't see. And he throws a couple of bucks on the desk because he's like still in mafia mode. He throws a couple, he goes, hey, go get yourself a shine on me. And I just took my feet and shoved them under the seat, man.
Joe Pistone may have scuffed up Scott's shoes. What neither of them could have known at the time is that Scott would go on to fill Joe's. The FBI Academy trains agents to take down bad actors. More and more of these criminals operate online. No tool.
I really didn't jump out.
Scott doesn't have a
fight as an undercover in the FBI. If you're looking on paper, I really didn't jump out.
Scott doesn't have a fancy degree. He doesn't speak any foreign languages. His nickname is Big Country, for obvious reason.
Bro, I feel like that's the perfect guy for the FBI. Like, why you don't want some dude that's like a Harvard grad that only knows textbook. I feel like you want a dude that's like lived in shit and like dealt with shit because he has like hands-on experience with like fucked up stuff.
So he begins to work as an instructor at the school he just graduated from. Unorthodox, but it got him noticed by the right people.
He gotta look racist. I mean, bro, do you think that's one of the, they had to pick a guy that would like fit the bill. You know what I mean? Like for him to infiltrate the KKK, they had to be like, we need a dude that's country white, bunch of tats, looks like he is potentially racist. Like they're racially picking a guy to be fake racist.
Playing in these scenarios and people that are there who
they would take me out. Oh, dude, they would immediately now.
Who were senior undercover.
I would not be able to fucking pose that.
Are watching because they're trying to recruit for other cases. And that's how my name started getting out there.
So after months, there's finally a possible assignment, one that Scott is perfect for. Sure, he's a redneck with almost no foreign language skills, not suitable for many undercovers, but he has something most other agents don't. He doesn't need to pretend to be a hard-living misfit. He is one. He knows he'll feel at home where he's about to go, but he has no idea how close he'll grow to the criminals he's been assigned to infiltrate.
Ooh, that's what I was just asking about.
And how hard it will be to turn on them.
People always have their own opinion of what undercover work is. Some people say it's acting, some people say it's lying. Essentially, this is the definition of undercover work. You are building relationships that you're going to betray.
Scott is...
I mean, dude, I feel like this is the perfect guy to ask the question of, like, do you think there's good in everybody? Because there has to be, like, for him to not want to turn some of these guys in, he has to like some of them. Even though they are full-on, like, insane racists.
On a mission, and his targets, these men, have just arrived. They're members of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, the main rivals of the Hells Angels. They've been implicated in drug trafficking, prostitution, Motorcycle Club, the main rivals of the Hells Angels. They've been implicated in drug trafficking, prostitution rings, money laundering, the list goes on. And they're notorious for violence against rival gangs. Infiltrating them is exceedingly difficult. Scott Payne is here to do just that. But there's a problem. Part of the intelligence Scott was given is wrong. He was told they wouldn't be wearing their colors. Obviously they are. Scott has hoped to strike up a casual conversation, letting the topic of motorcycles arise naturally. But these guys are advertising their gang affiliate.
Bro, about to walk up. So you guys like motorcycles? Trying to talk to like a notorious gang member that like traffics drugs, kills people. So you guys like Harley Davidson? I myself drive one. It's a big one with fire stripes on it. On the front side, it's a black motorcycle. Not that I like that color by any means. What says you?
He can't just go up and say, hey, you guys ride. His only choice is to make them come to him. Luckily, another part of the intelligence is right.
What did you say? I'm saying that's what he would have to say.
This guy, road named Spanky, loves to be the center of attention. So Scott steals...
Spanky likes to be the center of attention. How do they know that? Like, where are they getting this intel?
Luckily, another part of the intelligence is right. This guy, road named Spanky, loves to be the center of attention. So Scott steals it. He works the crowd. He tells jokes. He talks loudly. He draws attention to himself, making Spanky want to steal it back. Soon enough, Spanky asks where Scott is from and sends him a drink.
Spanky's called me over. He's introducing me to other people. And, of course, I'm getting more scrutiny. The more people I meet, the more scrutinized I am.
Everything seems to be going well, but the real scrutiny happens somewhere else.
So I walk into the bathroom, and as I'm at the urinal, and
some dude steps up to me and he just fucking looks right down at me. I feel like that'd be some crazy shit, bro. He stands right next to me at the urinal. There was a line of fucking 10 of them. Then he just looks straight at me. Not at my eyes, though.
A lot of bars, there's like a little
fucking crazy
box in front of the urinal, plexiglass. It might be flyers for a band coming up or a stripper coming to town or something like that.
Do you think they just beat the shit out of him? Oh, my God.
So I can see a little bit of a reflection. And I see this jacked, big dude come walking in. And I see him looking at each stall, and he's like, okay, that's empty. I see him looking under the stalls to make sure nobody's in there.
Oh, my God. Nah, I'd start panicking, bro. Stop. What do you fucking do? Does he got training for this? Is it like he's going, I'm going to die today?
And I'm watching this from a reflection. And then he comes walking up right beside me, and for a split second, I thought, oh, I'm getting jumped. I'm getting jacked right here. And that didn't happen. He says, so what brings you to Massachusetts?
All undercover FBI agents have a legend, a detailed made-up backstory that they have to commit to memory. He's from deep South Texas, up in Massachusetts for work. He loves Harleys and whiskey, and his name is Scott Calloway.
Oh my God, bro. I feel like I don't care how much you train for that. In that moment of like nervousness, do you think you would be able to stick to the story? You know what I mean? Like you're flat out being like, yeah, no, this is me. This is where I grew up. This is my family's names. Like you have an entire fake story, fake dad, fake mom, fake siblings, fake everything.
So happens, the guy grilling him in the bathroom is also named Scott. Scott Town.
A lot of undercovers, you bond with people, especially deep undercover long term. But there's
turns out me and him are both undercover trying to rat on each other. Which jobs have the most psychopaths?
Somewhere around 1 to 4% of the general population, but in some industries, they represent over 20%. If you thought they'd be busy
managers, no. It's got to be like CEOs. Has the most. Streamers? Streamers probably has a pretty high rate of psychopaths, sure. Streamers, maybe social media in general. But I think like CEOs, CIA, yeah, like a lot of jobs that need like no empathy. Where you just like fire people, kill people, and not care, like
working in dark alleyways or cutting people up in basements or chainsawing pretty young girls so you'd be safe in your smelly little office cubicle. You're wrong.
Blackjack dealers. Blackjack dealers. 7-card 21. Good luck next time. Reshuffle the cards. You flip a fucking 2 queens. 2 queens, perfect pair. You didn't bet it. 20, I'll stand. You go. They're flipping a 6. They flip 6, 5, 10, 21. Bet again. You got an ace, 8, 19. Stand. They flip a 4, or they have a 4. They flip 4, 3, 4, 11. Flip a 5. You go, oh shit, they got 16. Another 5, 21. Sorry, good. Better luck next time. Better luck next time.
They're far more likely to be in corner offices on live TV or running for re-election. Because while some careers reward empathy and compassion, others reward manipulation, power, and control. Let's quickly understand what a psychopath is, and then dive into jobs that attract the most psychopaths.
Making meme coins.
That's in the modern world. Psychopaths aren't just like the villains in movies. More often than not, they're high-functioning professionals living right next to us. Psychopathy is defined using the Hare psychopathy checklist, and it splits psycho traits into two major categories. We've got interpersonal and emotional traits, and we've got behavioral traits. Psychopaths have a major lack of empathy, absolutely no remorse, they're pathological liars, they're superficially charming, and they'll manipulate you in any way they can. They're also highly impulsive, thrill-seeking, irresponsible, often highly ambitious, and chronic rule breakers. In practical terms, a psychopath can fully understand what they're doing is harmful, they just don't care. Neuroscience studies back this up too, showing they're simply built different. Their amygdala, which processes empathy and fear, runs on low power mode. You put that kind of person into the workplace and what happens? You suddenly have a predator in an environment built for cooperation. They play office...
Well, they would still experience fear in some way, right? I never knew that psychopaths have a lower level of empathy and fear. But could you have the reverse? Like, who's the guy that climbs those towers? You know what I'm talking about. He free climbs towers in cities. What's that guy's name? Alex Honnold. Is Alex Honnold a psychopath? I don't know. Alex Honnold is a thrill seeker that has a low level of fear, but that doesn't mean that he has low empathy. He might just have like a fear disorder.
It's politics like it's life or death. They see colleagues as stepping stones, and they climb the ladder fast because they'll do things normal people simply won't. As Professor Babiak's research shows, certain careers act like magnets for psychopaths because they offer exactly what these people are looking for.
Dude, I can't escape Anton Chigurh. I'm serious. Ever since I've watched No Country for Old Men, I see Anton Chigurh every single day. Every single day, I see Anton Chigurh. He's like the most popular figure in my day-to-day life.
For status, power, and the...
Who is that? This guy. Anton Chigurh is a character in No Country for Old Men. He's a psychopath.
Because they offer exactly what these people are looking for. Status, power, and the ability to control others. So,
yeah, it's usually like higher power positions. That's why like CEOs are a higher percentage of psychopaths. They're not 80%. It's just like there's a higher... If psychopaths are 1 to 4% of the population, that's what he was saying. Like CEOs might be 20 of 20% of CEOs are psychopaths. There's a higher concentration.
Are they? Psychopaths thrive in systems that reward the worst parts of them. So give them status, power, competition, and the ability to manipulate people, and they'll rise.
Well, control and leadership as well. Like, psychopaths are not inherently bad people if they control the bad aspects of their personalities, right? Like, that's one thing that needs to be said. Like, when you think of the term psychopath, you think of, like, serial killers and fucking American Psycho. Like, the average psychopath is a pretty normal guy. Like, he might be a dickhead CEO, but you're not in your head going, he's a psychopath. You're going, he's just kind of an asshole rich guy. Like, he's just like a dude on the street, you know? Like, I think we're, like, mapping it up as these psychopaths need power and control. It's like, no, realistically, they kind of just, like, control employees, push out other competition, step on people, low ball competition, right? Like, they do day-to-day shit that, like, feeds that, but it's not like, oh, they need to fire someone every day and fucking stomp out small businesses to have feeling.
To the top. We're going to dive into the 10 careers where you can statistically find the most amount of psychopaths. These rankings come from psychologist Dr. Kevin Dutton.
Number 1, plumbers.
Research into psychopathy in the work.
Just some random fucking job. I feel like if we're going through 10 of them, there's going to be one that I'm like, oh, really? Oh, really? Ooh, police officers. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, police officers, cops. There's probably a higher percentage.
Place. If you'd like to read about it, check out his book, The Wisdom of Psychopaths, or watch his podcast with Chris Williamson. Now let's dive into the list. Do you want to take a guess at what number 10 is? 3 seconds. Ready?
Okay, well, see, here's what I'm pausing. Because number 10, like, I think I could guess jobs that are on the list. I think CEO's number 1. But, like, number 10, something that has, like, fractionally more psychopaths. Managers. Not a CEO. A manager. A manager of a local McDonald's. He's a power-hungry psychopath. He loves making you clock into your 9 to 5. He gives you the days that you don't want to work. He makes you come in.
You guessed it, priests and
That would have been the last guess. That would have been the last guess, right, priests?
Religious leaders. Just kidding. They're actually number 8 on the list.
Oh, fucking hell. What the Number 8 is priests? What?
We'll be diving into them a little later. First up, we've got civil servants. More specifically, we're talking about those roles where they're like the fake police. Parking ticket officer, welfare case manager.
Just fiending on that fucking power, man. Oh, you're fucking 6 inches too close to a fire hydrant. Ticket.
Some fat, miserable, blue-haired bitch at the DMV.
Whoa.
That kind of role. Why do psychopaths like these roles? Supposedly 3 reasons.
Whoa,
1,
settle down.
rule-based power. So authority is baked into the job. 2, low transparency. Everything's hidden behind
Side note, side conversation. That was a little crazy. I saw somebody say that in my Walking Dead playthrough, I'm like overly sexist and I use the term bitch too much. When I use the term bitch, I don't mean women, right? I just say I use the term bitch in the same way that I use the term dick, right? So it's like, when I say that, I don't want you to think, oh, I'm calling somebody a bitch because they're a woman. I'm just saying that you're being a bitch, right? You're being a bitch. You're being a dick, right? I use them interchangeably.
bureaucratic curtains. And 3, diffused responsibility. No single person is blamable. These guys get to inflict hardship while experiencing 0 emotional discomfort.
Or I'll go, bitch. They say somebody says something crazy. Bitch.
Because policy provides the moral cover. I'm not denying you.
I gotta rewind.
No single person is blamable. These guys get to inflict hardship while experiencing 0 emotional discomfort because policy...
Oh, you're here for a new ID? Do you have your 6 points? Ooh, that's only 5. Well, I drove 30 minutes to get you. Ooh, you're gonna need your birth certificate. Sorry.
provides the moral...
Adrenaline coursing through their body.
...cover. I'm not denying you healthcare. The system is denying you healthcare. Dr. Kevin Dutton describes this category as everyday authoritarianism. People who...
No, the DMV is really a dystopia. The DMV is like gray. They have those shitty hospital lights. It's just like 3 TV screens with like B22. Like you're playing bingo, but you're just sitting in a fucking shitty plastic chair waiting for your name to be called.
Enjoy enforcing structure, not because it helps society, but because it gives them dominance. In other words, psychopathy thrives in organizations where human suffering becomes just procedure. Anyways, on to number 9, which might surprise you quite a bit. Chefs. Not only are they idiot sandwich...
Head chefs. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay. I think Gordon Ramsay puts it on for show, though. But that's not that surprising. I feel like civil servants surprise me more than chefs. Yeah, that's not that crazy.
They are psychopaths.
My dad's a chef. Okay, but you got to keep in mind this video means the highest percentage of psychopaths. Just because your dad's a chef doesn't mean he's a psychopath. It just means there's like, 8% of chefs are psychopaths, which is higher than the average population.
Classic idiot sandwiches. Kitchen culture is brutal. High stress, long hours, sharp knives,
and the bear.
Fire everywhere. Chefs operate in an environment where perfection is expected and mistakes are punished instantly and aggressively.
Did technology wipe out serial killers? We were talking about that the other day. About how, not even with serial killers. Bro, murdering somebody today, not impossible, but really hard. Like, if you were alive in the 1800s, you could have just walked up to somebody, shot him in the face, and left. Not even hidden the body. You could have your fingerprints all... How do you know? Because there's cameras everywhere. And forensics. If you were alive in the... Bro, people always glaze, like, some serial killers that were alive in, like, the 1700s. I'm like, yeah. I don't even like that, using the word term glazed, because they were serial killers, but people will be like, they were so sneaky. So sneaky? If you were a serial killer in the 1700s, 1800s, you could walk up to somebody, stab them, walk away, have blood, piss, urine come anywhere over. They have no idea. If nobody saw the guy that killed him, they just go, I don't know, dude. It was dark outside. And then you move on.
Why did the so-called golden age of serial killers come to...
All right, I don't want to call it golden age of serial killers. Like we were in the Renaissance.
...such an abrupt end? Maybe because the world changed. Because the net closed in. Because cameras went up, databases went live, phones started ringing 3 digits instead of 10, 911. And the internet connected everything. See, the monsters didn't stop. The world stopped letting them move. Did technology kill?
There's still serial killers that exist. I'm pretty sure the U.S. has like an estimated... Yeah, the U.S. estimated at... The FBI has previously estimated as many as 500 serial killers are active in the United States. More accurate sources suggest a limited number of 20 to 25 or 20 to 50 active serial killers at any given moment. There's serial killers active, but it's like not as many as there were back then.
The serial killer? Welcome to Breakfast Cereal. My name's Josh. If you've been following along, you know I've been building a series asking, where did all the serial killers go? What killed the so-called golden age of serial killers? You know, that strange, terrifying stretch in the 70s and 80s when it felt like Kemper, Berkowitz, and Ramirez were everywhere all at once.
I feel like that was because in the 70s and 80s, serial killers had the maximal amount of technology and things at their hands that they could use to kill and use other people, but that technology wasn't advanced enough yet to go against them, right? Like, they had fast cars, they had phones, they had stuff, but tracking and knowing and being able to use that against people that were committing crimes with them was not possible or hard.
So far, I've tackled lead poisoning, DNA, long-haul trucking, even the controversial idea that serial killers just evolved into mass shooters. If you're new here, hit subscribe, check out the backlog, and...
Really? I feel like there is a difference between mass shooters and serial killers. Not in like in a moral sense, it's both terrible, but I'm saying like the motivation between somebody being a mass shooter and a serial killer, I feel like one is wanting to just watch the world burn and like borderline like anarchy sociopath shit. The other serial killing is more like they like the chase. They like the idea of getting away with it. Mass killers aren't trying to get away with it. Like, they're just going in, killing people, and then either shooting themselves or getting taken down.
Because honestly, that's where half of the real conversation happens. There are thousands of theories down there in some cases, and I love reading through.
How many murders have you passed in your life? I think that's a statistic. It varies by person, but how many murderers does the average person walk past in their life? The average person unknowingly crosses paths with 16 to 36 murderers. But like that depends on your like where you are, who you are. Like if you live in New York City, it's probably higher.
Through them. But today,
like if you live in fucking rural Wyoming, you might never encounter a murderer.
I want to zoom out a little wider. I want to talk about technology in the big sense. The stuff that turned the late 20th century into the early 21st. Not just DNA, but everything else. Let's start with this chart, because you know I love a good chart. And if you've been around here for a little while, this...
Serial killings have flatlined?
Because you know I love a good chart.
There's no way it's at 0. 0. But in 1980, it was 100 people.
And if you've been around here for a little while, this chart is starting to look very, very familiar. Serial killing.
Do you think the average person in the U.S. in the 80s was like, a woman was like genuinely fearful of... I know women today don't like feel safe, obviously, at night in like a dark alley or like situations where they could be vulnerable. But I'm saying, do you think it was like a daily thought for an average woman in the 80s in like a big city to be like, like this guy might actually be a serial killer?
In early 80s, spiking way above anything seen before. Then, suddenly, by like mid 90s, downhill, a sharp decline. By the 2000s, the line is flat. I mean, barely a shadow of its former self. Now, overlay another line, technological adoption. Home computers, cell phones, surveillance cameras, national crime databases, the spread of 911 systems, the internet.
Yeah, it's not even just like cameras and surveillance. It's like tracking, bro. The evidence of like, even if you're good at hiding prints and you are able to hide yourself and hide the body, the police are going to know where and when you took this person because everybody has a phone on them and all phones have trackers. And they're able to tap into that and see where and when you were and where you disappeared, when you disappeared, where the phone went. Like, you can't hide your trail.
And those two lucky ATMs with 911 systems, the internet, the rise of caller ID, ATMs with cameras, even store security systems. And those two lines, look, they almost cross like an X. As the killers drop, tech rises. Coincidence? As we see again, maybe. But again, hard to ignore the timing. When I first started looking at this, it reminded me of my own hometown, actually, when we first started installing its first set of traffic cameras. People complained like crazy. It's like, oh, Big Brother's watching. They said it was pointless. But guess what happened? Car accidents at that intersection where they put in the first ones dropped by like almost half. I mean, not because people suddenly cared about safety, but because they knew they were being watched. Now, imagine being a predator.
I feel like traffic cameras, though, like, I don't think people were upset more with traffic cameras for the effect of like, oh, Big Brother. I think it's more like, damn, I ran a stoplight and it just took a picture of my plate. Is that more agreeable? I feel like that's more what people are annoyed with. Nobody cares about a traffic camera, like, recording info. It's when they use that to give you a ticket because you ran a yellow and it hit red, and now you're getting charged, you know, fucking hundreds of dollars. You got points on your license. You're going to be like, oh, this sucks. You know, that's what people are upset about.
Knew they were being watched. Now, imagine being a predator in 1977. No cameras, no databases, no caller ID. It was like the wild...
No fucking street lights! That's another thing. You could stab somebody right out in the open. There were no lights anywhere. Yes, there were street lights. They existed, but they were more far and few between. In the 70s, used a lot of other random shit. And when you had that, there was no need to be like, what if somebody sees me? Because it's fucking pitch black everywhere.
NCIC, National Crime Information Center, went live in 1967. But it really came into its own in the 80s and 90s.
The National Crime Information Center is a computerized system serving all law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal.
You could think of it as like a giant digital filing cabinet for law enforcement across the U.S. It stores everything. Criminal records.
Oh my God.
Stolen
What, so if you're a serial killer that's moving across multiple states, it's easier for county and city police to also get roped in on it and find out things about you rather than it just being some high-grade CIA type shit, FBI. They're looking into a guy that's like cross-country killing people as a trucker. Now they could just see that.
Warrants, fingerprints. Suddenly, you got a cop in Nebraska could type in a license plate and know instantly if it was connected to a crime in Arizona. I mean, that was revolutionary. Then came VICAP, the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, launched by the FBI in 1985. VICAP was designed specifically with serial offenders in mind. It's a database that tracks the details of violent crimes, methods, victim types, crime scene signatures, and it looks for patterns across jurisdictions. So if a strangulation in Kansas looked eerily similar to one in Oklahoma, VICAP could flag it. Before that, those cases would have lived and died in separate filing cabinets. I mean, that...
I still think there's serial killers that exist today. It's just like, I don't want to say it's like more low profile, but like, bro, like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, bro, they'd be killing people like every other month. Like, it would be nonstop. I feel like serial killers now, they'll kill a guy, wait 5 years, kill a guy, and then that's not showing up, right? Like, they're still a serial killer. They still have a profile of an individual that they're tracking down. They've been doing this their whole life. They wait for it. But they're like separating it to a point where it's not showing up of like, oh, this seems like a pattern because it's so spaced out.
That seems absolutely huge, don't you think? I mean, even if it wasn't perfect, And VICAP especially struggled in the early years because not every department was using it properly or reporting it. It was the beginning of a net, though. A net that got tighter every single year. Let's talk about cameras. In the 70s, you could walk down a street, grab someone, shove them into a car, and unless somebody physically saw you with their own two eyes...
Yo, and even if they did, you wear a mask. All right, so what do you have info on the suspect? I don't know, man. He was wearing a mask and gloves. I don't even know what skin color he was. He was like this tall. He was driving a car. About useless ass information. Nobody helping you.
You were invisible. Surveillance cameras were incredibly rare. Grainy if they were there, and just local. By the late 90s, though, suddenly cameras are everywhere. So look at Israel Keys. He thought he was smarter than the system. He planned meticulously, stashed kill kits across states, went to extraordinary lengths to beat the system and go undetected. But when he abducted Samantha Koenig in 2012, cameras began closing the circle almost immediately. An ATM camera caught him withdrawing money from her account. Gas station cameras picked up the car he was driving. Each frame, each timestamp, stitched together his trail.
Bro, that's why I really think, like, I don't want to say most, but I would feel like most or a lot of modern serial killers have to be either lawyers or, like, in law enforcement or tech. Because they have to know everything. Like, I really think it would be like Dexter. Like, that's the only way that... because how do you just know this information?